2015 Southland Conference Baseball Tournament from Constellation Field in Sugar Land, Texas. This is an elimination game between the McNeese State Cowboys and the Southeastern Louisiana Lions. Chris Mykoski with you in the ESPN broadcast booth in Sugar Land, joined by a couple of the great voices here in the Southland Conference. Nichols play-by-play man Mike Wagenheim and Northwestern State radio voice Patrick Netherton. And before we get into this matchup, guys, let's review what we just saw. Northwestern State winning 4-3 over Nichols in an elimination game. And Mike, the Colonels had a great regular season, so many highlights, wins over LSU, sweeping ULL, and obviously a bunch of great wins in the Southland Conference. But when you go 0-2 to close things out in the conference tournament, that's going to sting for a long time.
Yeah, it definitely puts a damper on things. And the Colonels back-to-back 30-win campaigns for the first time since 1992-1993, but no postseason wins to show for it in the last couple of years. So some retooling to be done, probably a different approach to the postseason going forward for head coach Seth Thibodeau. Just too many opportunities squandered over the last couple of days here.
Patrick, the Demons still have a lot of work to do to fight out of the losers bracket. Brandon Smith goes a good number of innings. I don't imagine he's spent, though. He's had a long distance there during the regular season, and the Demons have plenty of other weapons that make you think they could make a run at this thing.
Well, the thing I think that was most important for NSU is they've only used one bullpen arm, and their bats finally woke up. Granted, it was one inning, but they finally stringed together some hits, which they couldn't do against Houston Baptist in the opener. Now you're looking at, you've only used two starters. You lose your closer, who probably can come back if you get to Saturday, and at least throw you maybe an inning or two if you need him. I think the Demons are pretty well set. The question is, winning 5 games, how do you go with that 4th and 5th starter? That's going to be the real question.
All right, let's take a look at the Southland Conference tournament bracket and see how teams advanced into this circumstance. Again, Southeastern and McNeese State both in a loser's bracket situation, an elimination game here that was supposed to start at noon, but starting a little bit late here in Sugar Land if we have the bracket available. It is McNeese and Southeastern again playing with their tournament lives on the line as we wait for the bracket, guys. These two teams, again, stellar seasons, and we'll have to see which one goes home at the end of the day. This is the other side of the bracket.
So this is what we just saw
sorry,
here.
Excuse me, I'm all thrown off here. This is what we just saw here between Nichols and Northwestern State. Nichols falling out, and then when you get to the other side, that's the game that we are about to play right now. And apologies for my confusion. 5 games of baseball. I think my brain is already going to mush. But Southeastern and McNeese in an elimination game. The winner will get the loser of the Islanders and Bearcats later today. Let's look at our impact players, starting off, Patrick, with Billy Summers from MSU.
Well, it was tough to pick anyone that was an impact player from last night. Really a struggle for McNeese. Summers having a nice game, though, 2 for 4, drove in the lone run. The key for the Cowboys is going to be don't get behind like they did last night against Sam.
And for the Southeastern Lions, Carson Kreitz, one of the few offensive bright spots for the Lions last night.
Yeah, we see Kreitz, actually Summers there. Carson Kreitz, you know, it's Jacob Seward gets all the attention, the Southland Conference Player of the Year, the leadoff man for Southeastern, but it's Kreitz out of that 2 spot that makes a lot happen. He had an RBI double in the ball game yesterday. There's Kreitz right there, and really a second table setter for Southeastern Louisiana. When you have Seward and Kreitz at the top of your order, that's a 1-2 punch that really can't be matched throughout the Southland Conference.
Southeastern Louisiana, I think we'll talk about a lot during the ball game, their opportunity for postseason. Should they fall tonight and go 0-2 in the Southland, they've had such a great year. They're receiving votes in national polls, but you never want to leave it to chance and that at-large bid. I guess it's really a 50-50 shot should they fall today to get in to the NCAA tournament.
Well, they hit the magic number, Chris. They got to 40 wins, and that's the most important thing. Hard to deny any teams with 40 wins, especially in a good top-to-bottom league like the Southland. It's going to be hard-pressed to keep them out of the tournament.
All right, guys, with the play-by-play, again, we like to showcase a couple of the great radio voices throughout this league in the Southland. From Nichols State, it's Mike Wagenheim, and from Northwestern State, Patrick Netherton. Take it away, guys.
Up, Andrew Giat will lead things off for the Cowboys. He'll take a strike from right-hander Jake Johnson on the outer half of the plate, and we're underway here between McNeese and Southeastern here in this elimination game. The winner survives until tomorrow. The loser goes home tonight. A little bit outside to Giat, and Andrew Giat, another one of those very nice table setters in this league, and with Joe Provenzano batting behind him, the freshman of the year. Good top of the order for the Cowboys.
So many guys in this league at the top of the order that just get on base, find a way to get into scoring position and score runs. Up and down the league, you're finding that.
Johnson missing outside.
And, you know, the key, I think, Mike, for this McNeese team is you got to shake off a 5-run inning that you gave up early against Sam Houston last night. Find a way to get success early.
Yeah, you wonder if the Lions were stunned, and they shouldn't have been, because Trevor Belichick for Texas A&M Corpus Christi is one heck of a pitcher, among the top 2 or 3 arms in this league. But still, you're the number 1 seed. You have all the momentum coming in, and then you fall on opening day, and you got to bounce back and do it quickly. Called strike to Giat. The count run full here to the McNeese leadoff man.
And that's a good start, obviously, for McNeese. Anytime you can get the pitch count up early, it helps. Lets everyone else see pitches.
Giat staying alive. Count remains 3-2. McNeese coming into this Southland tournament as the 4 seed. Fell to Sam Houston State last night. And as you mentioned, Patrick, never really got things going against Andrew Godale and company. Never really in that ball game. They lost 5-1. Didn't score until the 9th. Giat base hit through the left side. And McNeese with a good start to their afternoon.
Perfect. And Giat second in the Southland in stolen bases. You would have to anticipate he'd be on the move at this point. Already set the career record for McNeese in hits, is closing in on the career record for stolen bases. Don't be surprised if Giat doesn't get on the move quickly.
Giat having a great career with McNeese and named a finalist for the Senior Class Award this year, which is a very prestigious award in college baseball. Just a very all-encompassing award, community activities, classroom activities, and, of course, on-the-field performance as Joe Provenzano takes a strike down the middle here from Jake Johnson. Provenzano, Southland Freshman of the Year. Good find for the young head coach from the Cowboys, Justin Hill. Could be 2 here for the Lions. Can they double him up? No, beat it out by half a stride.
Well, that's what helps when speed helps you at the top of the order. It keeps you out of a double play early. Giat obviously not on the move, and that's why I kind of anticipated he would be. Justin Hill's going to come out and do a little arguing here with our second base umpire, Thomas Walkowiak, and obviously looking at the neighborhood play being the issue in this one.
Well, it looks like they called interference because Provenzano was heading back to the dugout.
Well, there you go. Now I see why Justin Hill's arguing. So interference, the call, which obviously negates both guys. So now 2 outs, and the base is empty, and that obviously changes the complexion of the inning entirely.
Not sure if we'll be able to get another look at that play at second base or not. Connor Lloyd at the bat here for McNeese, their shortstop. He'll take a strike, and it's 0-1. Lloyd, a .323 hitter, 10 doubles, 29 batted in. Doesn't strike out a whole lot, only 14 Ks on the year. Veteran in the McNeese lineup, seems like he's been there forever. Soft fly ball into left field. Here comes Ryan Byers to make the play, and the side is retired, so the Cowboys get that leadoff hit, but the runner's interference negates any momentum. Half inning in the books. It's the Cowboys nothing. The Lions coming to bat. This is the Southland Conference Tournament on ESPN.
If you're looking for a car that drives you and takes the wheel right from your very hands, this isn't that car. The first and only car with direct adaptive steering. The 328 horsepower Q50 from Infiniti.
Thanks.
FedEx has solutions to enable global commerce that can help your company grow steadily and quickly.
你做得很好。
Cut it out. See you tomorrow.
Bottom half of the first inning, an elimination game here from Sugar Land, Texas. McNeese State and the regular season champion Southeastern Louisiana Lions. Southeastern coming into the bat here, facing right-hander Bryce Kingsley here for the Cowboys. Kingsley, the number 2 man in the rotation here for McNeese State, but he's been around the block and some postseason experience under his belt. Kingsley, the right-hander, facing Jacob Seward, Carson Kreitz, and Daniel Midyet here in the bottom half of the first inning. A look at Constellation Field here in Sugar Land. Great selection for the Southland Tournament once again this year. Back here after a 1-year absence. As the league's player of the year, Jacob Seward to lead things off, and he'll take a strike down the middle. Seward, just a dangerous player. 362 hitter, 35 driven in. Ground ball to second. Joe Provenzano over to Connor Crane for the putout. One away here, and he'll bring up Carson Kreitz. Pitch on the inner half of the plate. Seward to ground out weakly. Not a whole lot of pitchers have done that this year. Here's Kreitz at the bat. Sophomore from Amarillo, Texas. Kreitz batting .324. He'll take one in the dirt. 6 doubles, 3 long balls, 29 batted in for Kreitz, and 11 stolen bases as well. Here's a 1-0 from Kingsley. Fly ball right center. On the move is Guillat, and that's over his head. It'll get all the way to the wall. Extra bases for Carson Kreitz. He's turning for 3. And the relay throw dropped by Joe Provenzano. Carson Kreitz with a 3-bagger, his 4th of the year. Showing off his speed there.
Alan, look, Mike, this is the best offense in the Southland Conference. Don't get it wrong. Also a misplay off the wall by Guillat, which helped to allow Kreitz. I think Kreitz was slowing up heading into second base, and then as soon as he saw that ball came back and bounced back past Guillat, he immediately turned and took off and headed for third.
That's one of those things about playing in a neutral site. You really only get about a couple hours on the field on Tuesday. Real no work during the week. And so you don't really get a great feel for how the ball plays off the walls here and in the crevices as Daniel Midyet steps up to bat. The switch hitting DH. He'll take one outside for a ball. A chance here with a runner on third and 1 out for Southeastern to take the early lead. This should get the job done. Roller to second will bring the run home, and it's 1-0 Lions on the ground out RBI by Daniel Midyet, chasing in Carson Kreitz.
Yeah, in the first inning, Justin Hill, the McNeese skipper, just content to take the out for the run, had the infield back. Middle infielders are back. Anything hit to the middle infielders was going to score the run, and that's an excellent job of doing your job by Daniel Midyet to drive in the run. Hit it exactly where he needed to.
46th RBI of the year for Midyet. We'll bring up the senior, Kevin Carr, the Lion first baseman at Chandler, Arizona. 329, hitter good for second on the club. Leads a team with 14 doubles. He'll take a strike here from Kingsley.
And that's exactly the start a team like Southeastern needed. Look, everyone has a good Friday night guy. Everyone's got that guy. So to be able to turn around and get an early lead in the loser's bracket game is a huge advantage.
Just missed outside. Kingsley making his 13th start, a 4.55 ERA. Gives up about 1 hit per inning. 52 strikeouts, 17 walks. Drives this one to left field. Back goes Louis Gilbo. It's going to bang off the wall. Standing double for Kevin Carr. Almost got that one out of here. Carr lines up.
Just a great piece of hitting. Got a ball high and on the inside half that he could drive, and I like you, was waiting to see if that one was going to have enough to get out. And I don't want to say poorly played out in left field, but certainly Louis Gilbo, I think, could have made a better effort at it. He was close, but I think he might have thought off the bat that was leaving as well.
Two-out base runner here for Brett Hoffman, senior third baseman. Kingsley, former Louisville Slugger, freshman All-American, delivers his strike on the outer half of the plate. Kingsley, terrific debut back in 2013. Was in the top 10 of the league in ERA, wins, innings pitched, complete games, and opponent batting average. Kind of tailed off last year, finished with a 6.29 ERA, though he did pick up a win at Southeastern in May of last year.
Yeah, battled injury all year last year.
1 ball, 1 strike as he misses down and away.
Talking to Bruce Merchant, another of the great voices of the Southland Conference, their play-by-play man for McNeese, he said it just feels like McNeese is tired at the end of the season. Feels like they're really struggling down the stretch. They got into the tournament, and he feels like he's not sure they've got the energy to battle out of the losers bracket.
We shall see today. 2 balls and 1 strike now. McNeese dropped 2 out of 3 to conclude the regular season at Central Arkansas. They swept a non-conference series from Grambling prior to that and swept Stephen F. Austin prior to that. And then took a series from Nichols, so it seemed like they had a pretty good conclusion to the regular season. 2-1 pitch, out over the plate, but fouled on back. 2-2 to Hoffman.
Also important, I think, Mike, if you're Southeastern, if you can pick up any extra runs you get. We saw in the first game today, Nichols got a run in the bottom of the first inning, ultimately a run in the bottom of the second inning, but could never get the second and third runs, couldn't turn it into a crooked number in any of those innings. If Kingsley's able to limit the damage, that's a win for McNeese here. If Southeastern put at least 1 more up, that's a win for the Lions.
Wholeheartedly agree. The 2-2 down and in. Cameron Toole, catcher for McNeese. Hoffman looking to drive in Carr here. 1 run on the board for the Lions. On a ground out RBI by Daniel Midyet. Chasing in Carson Kreitz after a 1-out triple. Payoff pitch. Fouled off.
Yeah, you mentioned, Mike, the limited time these teams have to get in here and practice, to get in here and get familiar. They take in and out on the first day of the tournament, but don't take any in and out after that. And you wonder, the conditions are a little bit different in the morning than they were in the afternoon when McNeese played their first game, and you wonder how that's affecting the outfielders. We saw the carom off the wall that got past Guillat. Gilbo not really able to get to that ball and left as well.
Kingsley trying to put him away, and does with a nice breaking ball. Bryce Kingsley gets out of the inning but gives up a run on a couple of hits. We've played 1 full frame here from Sugar Land. The Lions up 1-0. This is the Southland Conference Tournament on ESPN.
McNeese State and Southland Conference baseball fans, your vote is needed. Help support McNeese outfielder Andrew Guillat by logging on to www.seniorclassaward.com and voting for the senior as the nation's top student athlete. Voting is open through June 8th, and you can vote up to 3 times per day. So act today and vote for McNeese's Andrew Guillat as this year's Senior Class Award recipient.
I'm Andrew Guillat, and I approve this message.
Right-hander Jake Johnson, junior for Southeastern Louisiana, back to work as we enter the second inning of play here from Constellation Field in Sugar Land, Texas. 1-0. The Lions with the advantage. Johnson, a JUCO transfer. He'll work to the middle of the order here, beginning with Billy Summers, the DH for McNeese, who takes a strike off speed. Saw during the timeout, McNeese's Andrew Guillat, recognized as a class finalist, senior class finalist. A prestigious award. Johnson missing outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Summers. Johnson, the male athlete of the year at Neosho County Community College last season. Helped that club to the JUCO World Series. Change up, chop towards second. Tough play here for Kreitz. Got him. Made it look fairly routine in the end. Didn't rush it. The Summers retire. There's one away. Carson Kreitz, second sacker for the Lions. Here's Connor Crane at the bat for McNeese. Knee-high fastball for the strike. Crane, junior from the fine state of Colorado, a .274 hitter with 8 home runs on the year, 39 driven in.
And that's an interesting discussion, Mike, about 8 home runs. You have multiple guys with at least 6 home runs on the roster for McNeese. You have a couple of guys that have over 4 home runs, including one with 8 for the Lions. The reduction of the seams in the baseball was the huge story after the BB core bat and the dead bat era for the last couple of years. They reduced the seams down to the minor league seams, and it really has shown some jump in offense. I'd like to see a little bit more, but where it's at now, I like.
Yeah, finding a happy medium in there was really the key. It used to be college baseball. You're constantly playing 14 to 12 games.
Right.
And just such an imbalance. They went so far in the other direction that the offense really was at a complete disadvantage. So I think they found, for the most part, a good balance at this point as Crane goes down on strikes. 2 away.
It's a really nice 1-2 delivery right there. Got him just a little change, came back and broke in at him.
Johnson gave up a hit in the first, but a runner's interference call on an attempted double play ball got him out of the jam. Here's James Cantu at the plate, and he'll take a strike down the middle. Cantu, the McNeese right fielder. Lions up a run here in the second. Loser this game goes home. The winner plays tomorrow. 0-2 the count.
You know, that's what makes the offensive interference such a big deal in the first inning, Mike, is because that could change the entire complexion of this game. Southeastern with the runner's interference gets 2 outs, nobody on in the first. Next thing you know, this is a completely different confident squad.
Now Christ gets to it, but he'll have to put it in his pocket. That'll be an infield hit for Cantu.
And as you and I both know, both Louisiana guys around that Southeastern Louisiana program, there may not be a more confident team in the Southland Conference than Southeastern Louisiana. They have, ever since J.R. Teague's really got that program going the last several years, and since Matt Reiser's been there for the last couple, they really have a very high level of confidence. They come out with a swagger when they hit the baseball diamond, and they believe they're going to win. So when you get some early success, that helps them a lot, keeps that swagger going.
Yeah, they're good, and they know they're good.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Louis Gilbo batting here.
And that's why we said in the pregame that this is likely a team that would end up in the NCAA tournament no matter what happens. Obviously, you would like to see, as a conference, for them to get in, you'd like to see them win a few more games before they ultimately are eliminated. But 41-16 is still 41-16.
This one hit into the right field corner, heading out of play. Gilbo finished up the regular season on a 6-game hitting streak. JUCO transfer from Austin, Texas. Jake Johnson trying to put away the pokes. To the corner. Strong throw from Brett Hoffman. The other side retired, and 2-out singles, all the Cowboys get. We played an inning and a half from Sugar Land. Lions up 1-0 here in the Southland Tournament on ESPN.
At Mid-South Bank, we're dedicated to providing loans that allow our customers to achieve their business and personal dreams. That's one promise you can bank on. We're not just business associates, we're neighbors. We're committed to our customers and the strength of our local economy. Here at Mid-South Bank, responsibility matters. With locations in Texas and Louisiana and still growing. Discover how our customers are finding strength in numbers at Mid-South Bank.
The Southland Conference is 4,200 student athletes from 13 member institutions. competing in 17 NCAA Division I sports. We are Southland Strong.
Fans from all over the Southland Conference making the trek to Sugar Land, Texas, including many from the Lake Charles area. Back here with you from Constellation Field. Elimination game on day 2 of the Southland Tournament. Southeastern Louisiana, the regular season champs, leading McNeese 1-0. The Lion faithful here as well in full force. Bryce Kingsley, Cowboy right-hander, working the first pitch to Kennan Menard. Got him to flare it out to right for out number 1.
Well, it's an easy trip up just across west on I-10 here to Houston. It's a little bit longer of a haul to come all the way from Hammond, Louisiana, or Hammond, America.
Hammond, America, indeed. That's what they call it. Here comes Julian Service to the plate for the Lions. Canadian in his junior campaign. Guess you can call that Sarnia, Canada.
You can, if you like. I'm amazed, looking at the batting averages for Southeastern, because even with the newer, lower seams on the ball, there are a lot of teams that don't have a lot of guys hitting over 300. Now, there's some guys that will flash the occasional power, but there's not a ton of guys hitting for huge averages all up and down the Southland lineup. You look at Southeastern, they've got guys, 6 of them hitting over 300 and one more at 299 in the regular rotation.
Yeah, there's really no weak spot in that order, and no chance to really pitch around anybody.
You can't exhale if you're a pitcher.
No chance to breathe whatsoever. 2 balls and a strike to Service, batting out of the 7th spot.
Not only do they bat it well, but they run so well as well.
Oh, knuckler to Provenzano. There are 2 gone here in the Lions' second.
Already seen a couple of interesting hops to second baseman today. That one looked like it hit the collar. Great job by Provenzano to wait and not let it spin sideways on him.
Chris Eads out of Slidell, Louisiana. North of New Orleans coming up to bat here.
When your 8-hole hitter is 6'3", 240, you're doing something right.
You look at that Lion bench, it looks like a professional team over there. It looks like a minor league team the way these guys are built.
I wish they wouldn't wear camouflage jerseys, though. It's really tough to see them out there. You're welcome.
I can't even see who's at bat.
Exactly.
1 ball, 1 strike.
It's just a pair of pants up there.
Kingsley missing. Southeastern Louisiana establishing a new record, 41 wins this year for their program.
Amazing. And haven't won the Southland regular season. That's what was amazing. With all the success they've had the last several years, when J.R. Teagues, when he got things going, now the athletic director at Southeastern, all the success had not won the regular season.
Sam Houston State just had such a great run in there. Full count here to Eads. Kingsley gave up a run on a couple of extra base hits back in the first. To the shortstop, Connor Lloyd. And Kingsley adds himself a 1-2-3 second. We'll head to the third when we come back to Sugar Land, Texas. This is the Southland Conference Tournament on ESPN.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
A little bit here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Third inning upon us here from Sugar Land, Texas. McNeese trying to stay alive here against Southeastern Louisiana. The Pokes down 1-0 as they come back to the bat here against Southeastern right-hander Jake Johnson. Beautiful day for baseball out here. We had some rain in the forecast yesterday, and it stayed away. Got more in the forecast for later on tonight. Fortunately, Patrick, there is no accountability for meteorologists. They can be wrong all the time and still keep on going.
I will say this. The only guys that can be less successful and be Hall of Famers are baseball players. They can get a hit a third of the time they're in the Hall of Fame.
Matt Gallier leading things off here from McNeese State. Swings and misses at the Johnson offering. 8-9-1 batters due up here for the Pokes. Johnson has surrendered a couple of hits. Nobody has reached scoring position yet. Downstairs to Gallier.
And when you said we missed rain yesterday, we missed rain by about a half a mile. We watched the storm cloud go right across the face of the outfield here at Constellation Field. It missed us by, I'm not exaggerating when I say half a mile. Nice big thunderstorm that just went cruising by us in the outfield.
Higher power watching over Constellation Field this weekend.
By the way, that has been a huge story this year all across the Southland Conference, rainouts. The weather has just wreaked absolute havoc. Series after series getting changed to double headers, getting canceled, and Corpus had their series to end the season canceled entirely this year.
And they came right back and beat Southeastern.
Clearly needed the rest.
I guess so. Gallier gone on strike, second punch out for Jake Johnson here. Change speeds on him. That brings up the catcher, Cameron Toole, who was named to the Johnny Bench Award watch list this year. That goes to the top catcher in the nation after the season. One of three catchers from the Southland named to that list. Clayton Johnson fielding his position 2 away.
It's kind of a little bit of a screwball action when it got to him. It actually hopped back toward him and into his glove. It was a little wide of him when it hit. He did a nice job lowering the glove, getting that up. I'm always amazed at pitchers and their reaction time with the glove hand because obviously they're the closest guy to the plate.
There's Andrew Guillat taking low for ball 1. Guillat, around 250 hits. A very prestigious career at McNeese. Smokes this one foul. Look out.
Roberto Vaz has to get out of the way of that one. He's been a great addition, by the way, the third base coach. One of the great personalities in this game as well. You see Vaz there as we scroll back around. Vaz has been a heck of an addition for this McNeese team this year, first season.
Guillat grounds to Kenan Menard. Close play and just didn't get him. Well, Johnson has his first 1-2-3 inning. We're midway through 3 here from Sugar Land. Still 1-0 Lions. This is the Southland Conference Tournament on ESPN.
When you're looking for the perfect award or branding solution, look no further than Levy Marketing and Awards. A true innovator in the art of recognition, Levy Marketing and Awards is a U.S. custom awards manufacturer with over 50 years of experience providing guaranteed personal service and high-quality production catering to athletics and collegiate sports. Log on to LevyMarketingAwards.com or call toll-free 855-879-5389 to create your lasting impression today. Levy Marketing and Awards, providing streamlined solutions to meet all of our clients' business needs.
Cheer for the stumbles, the he shoulda had that's, and the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
Gorgeous day on the rocking chairs out in the seats here from Constellation Field in Sugar Land. 1-0 Lions. Boy, they thought of everything here, Pat.
That's right in front of us, by the way. I think I have enough cord here. I think I can actually do the broadcast from the rocking chair outside. I may do that.
Ryan Byers will lead things off. Sophomore from Ponchatoula, Louisiana, right near Hammond. A home base for Southeastern Louisiana. Takes a strike middle in. Got rocking chairs out here. There's a merry-go-round beyond the left field wall.
And there's a pool in here somewhere, isn't there?
There is a pool, I think, out there near left center. Yep.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. They got to have everything here. And this is affiliated with the Atlantic League. I mean, the Atlantic. I mean, come on. How is this not the Houston Astros affiliation right here? This is perfect.
0-2 missed outside. Done a great job with this facility and building this independent franchise. 1-2. Here to Byers, a 9-hole hitter for the Lions, their left fielder. Bryce Kingsley coming off a 1-2-3 second. Looks like he's got a leadoff out. Here's Connor Lloyd, slings along to Connor Crane for out number 1.
Nice job, first baseman Crane, holding the foot on the bag long enough. Throw was a little bit wide from Lloyd.
Brings up Jacob Seward. Grounded out to second base to begin his day. What a player this kid is. Scary, he's just a sophomore.
Yeah, that's the player of the year is a sophomore in the Southland Conference. The hitter of the year is a junior. This league is pretty set up.
The flip side of that is the expectations that are going to be on him next year.
Absolutely. Well, if your player of the year is a sophomore, you better come back and be player of the year as a junior and a senior as well.
1 ball, 1 strike. Seward trying to butt his way on. Yep. Kingsley fields his position well.
We've seen the pitchers doing a nice job of that, keeping the gloves down low. I'm always amazed that they can get back on balance that quickly and be ready and able to flip those. And then my favorite part about pitchers is they always throw underhanded to first base if they get the opportunity to. Man can throw it 94 from on top of a hill, but he's throwing it 20 feet. He's got to underhand it. I understand it, though. Make sure you make the play.
Base knock for Carson Kreitz. He tripled and scored in the first. Makes a big turn here and scampers back to the bag. Carson Kreitz 2 for 2. I've seen some pitchers field the ball and run to first.
Yes,
to make the play.
just stand on the bag themselves. Go touch the bag yourself. Kreitz apparently going to be the table setter today already. 2 for 2. Had that double into right center and now the single. But again, if you're Kingsley, pitcher for McNeese, do this with 2 outs. Don't let these rallies start, because the moment you let a Southeastern Louisiana player on to start off an inning, trouble begins. That's when they start have the ability to play small ball, which they do exceptionally well.
Here's Daniel Midyet. Around your neck of the woods, Shreveport. Captain Shreve High product.
Very comfortable in green and gold for that matter. Didn't have to even change school colors to leave the Gator program.
Stopping the dirt there by Cameron Toole. Yet, we'll mention all Southland Conference last season. He didn't play much as a freshman, but worked his way in the lineup. Started 46 games last year.
Great heads-up base running by Kreitz at first. Rounded second, looked immediately at Lloyd, saw the ball deflect off the glove of Lloyd at short. Also nice piece of hitting going inside out for Midyet. And unfortunately for McNeese, Connor Lloyd is not 6 feet tall, or else he would have made that play easily.
Put together a 2-out rally here in the third. They already have a run on the board. Kevin Carr coming up to the plate. Carr rather with a wall-banging double back in the first.
Yeah, Connor Lloyd at short goes 5'7". Needed to be about 5'9" for that one.
Low fastball.
Also, don't be surprised if Matt Reiser doesn't get something going here with runners at the corners. You do have heart of the order. If you get thrown out at second, trying to perhaps a double steal of some kind, you still come back with your cleanup hitter at the plate. So don't be surprised if Midyet perhaps gets on the move here, tries for a double steal to at least swipe second. This is a Lion team that has 119 stolen base attempts. They have 4 different guys who have double-digit steals on the year. Midyet 7 of 11 at first base.
Not to worry about here for Bryce Kingsley.
Only guy you need to concern yourself with is Carr at the plate.
It's behind 3-0. Carr taking all the way. Brett Hoffman due up next.
Aaron Freeman, a little gift there, I think, for Kingsley. Pitch looked like it was a little bit high and outside, but on 3-0, if it's anywhere in the vicinity, it's going to be a strike.
Looks like they changed the count here on us. 2-1 the count. Well, if the pitch was waved off. Regardless, this one dumped into right. Base hit. Short hopping out to Cantu. No play at third. However, at second, they got him by a country mile. Score the run as Kreitz crosses from third on the RBI hit by Kevin Carr, but Carr got greedy and he's cut down at second by the third baseman, Matt Gallier. But Southeastern doubles their lead. It's 2-0 Lions after 3. This is the Southland Tournament on ESPN.
Yeah, I really admire my mother. Despite what people said, she bought me a sewing machine and she let me play with dolls, and that was something that was kind of growing up culturally was quite unacceptable, and she really dared to let me be different.
Southeastern up 2-0. McNeese has some work to do here as we turn the play-by-play over to Patrick Netherton.
Thank you, Wags. Appreciate it. Justin Hill, the second-year skipper for McNeese. A lot of great young coaches in this league as McNeese will have 2, 3, and 4 in the order. Joe Provenzano, mentioned him, the freshman of the year in the Southland Conference, will lead things off. He was guilty. He was out on the offensive interference down at second base back in the first inning. Count runs to 2-0. This McNeese squad, 32-24 after their loss last night. The 4 seed in the tournament, as all the top 4 seeds fell in the first day of the Southland tournament.
You mentioned Justin Hill, really done a nice job restoring some stability to the Cowboy program. They had a 30-win year last year. That was their first in 5 seasons, and they repeated again this year.
2-1 swung on and missed. Beautiful change up there. Yeah, Hill, it's amazing how many of these head coaches, and Reiser's another one, he's in his second year taking over a very successful program. Amazing how many of these coaches have moved around within the Southland Conference. Little ground ball easily handled by Kevin Carr on one knee. Provenzano's retired for the second time. We'll bring up Connor Lloyd. The McNeese shortstop flew out to left his first time up. Shallow left field. Nice play by Ryan Byers out there on the run. Lloyd almost taking care of business, not allowing that second run to score in the last inning, but not quite tall enough at shortstop to get that flare over his head as he knocks one right past his third base coach, Roberto Vaz.
A very patriotic American flag arm sleeve there from Connor Lloyd.
Hashtag America. 0-1 misses high and wide. Lloyd is certainly a guy, and we've seen this. You've got a guy at Nichols. We've got a guy at Northwestern State. So many shortstops in this league that are absolute gems defensively, and Lloyd's one of those as the 1-1 hits for strike 2. A lot of guys that field their position exceptionally well. all up and down this league. Now a little loop. Looks like he'll just get fouled down the left field line.
Connor Lloyd really been the heart and soul of this Cowboy club. Only the 7th player in school history to reach 200 hits.
A lot of guys that Justin Hill is going to be looking to replace next year. Lloyd, chief among them. Guillot, another one that he's going to have to try to find replacements for. It's a pretty veteran McNeese squad that Hill's got this year, which is part of the reason why he was able to guide them to a 4th place finish. The amazing thing to me is, Mike, that there were the top 4 seeds, all from the state of Louisiana, and all lost yesterday. That's going to be a base hit right back up the middle. Lloyd, nice piece of hitting, took a high outside pitch and just flared it right back through the middle. So McNeese has someone aboard. First time they've had a runner aboard since the 2nd inning. Cantu with a single back in the 2nd with 2 outs, and the first time since the 1st inning they've had anyone aboard with fewer than 2 outs. We'll see what the Cowboys get going with Billy Summers, the designated hitter. Summers grounded out to 2nd to lead off the 2nd inning. 0 for 1 on the day.
Southeastern had the bases empty with 2 outs last inning and put together 3 consecutive hits to produce a run.
Swing and a miss. Nice job. Chris Eads behind the dish, going down to take care of that one in the dirt. In what we assume would be a low-scoring game, most squads have at least 2 very good pitchers Friday and Saturday nights. All of the runs, all the extra bases, everything very important. And that a beautiful changeup from Johnson. And just that quickly, Summers is down 0-2. Sun finally making an appearance this morning. I believe it's the first time we've seen it today. 0-2, swing and a miss. 3 change-ups. He got him on all of them. Breaking ball in the dirt, and then 2 consecutive change-up after that. Billy Summers goes down on 3 pitches. So that's one way to take care of business. Strike out the guy up there. Don't have to worry about the runner on board. Bring up Connor Crane. Crane struck out swinging his first time up. 3 strikeouts now for Jake Johnson in 3 2/3 innings. Good economy of pitches, just middle 40 pitches right now at 45. Another swing and a miss. Wags the breaking stuff really working, off-speed stuff going very well right now for Johnson.
He's kind of found a rhythm up there and go with what works until they can find a way to hit it.
Fouled out of play.
Crane's been a nice little addition to this Cowboy lineup. He was a JUCO All-American coming out of Lamar Community College out there in Colorado, and 274 hitter, 8 homers, 14 doubles. Good guy to have in the middle of the lineup.
Swing and a miss on the 0-2, and Johnson, after giving up the 1-out single, strikes out the next 2 to get out of trouble. Most of the time, you're only as good as your starting pitcher, and Johnson responding to that after giving up the 1-out single. We head to the bottom of the 4th, 2-0 Southeastern leads. You're watching.
But I thought we were supposed to have the big room.
No, you're in the other room.
You think they'll switch?
You could ask.
You guys wouldn't mind us taking the big room, would you?
What happens when the 2015 Silverado HD goes head-to-head with the competition? In situations that matter most, in the real world, where you can see for yourself. Witness a real-world test of HD truck capability and compare what really matters to truck buyers firsthand.
That's amazing.
Watch Silverado go head-to-head. Visit Chevy.com/HD test to see more.
Morning, John.
Ricky?
Man, I've been sleepy lately.
How come the decaf then?
This isn't decaf.
Dude, are you colorblind?
No.
We welcome you back to the press box here at Constellation Field. The first team eliminated in the early morning game, Nicholls State, the team that beat them, the 2-seed Northwestern State, joined now by Lane Burrows, the head coach of the Demons. here in the press box, as right now it's 2-0 in favor of Southeastern Louisiana as we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. And a ground ball right back up the middle to start things off for Brett Hoffman. So Southeastern, this is when they're most dangerous. Lane Burrows, the head coach of the Demons, you probably in your mind should have taken 2 of 3 from the Lions down in Hammond. You ended up taking 1 of the 3, one of the few teams that actually got a win off of Southeastern this year. Before we talk about where you're at right now and the place that NSU's at, talk about Southeastern Louisiana with a leadoff man aboard and just how difficult, how much pressure they put on you in this situation.
Well, they got a great offensive club. Thing that makes them so special is their weekend rotation. They got 3 guys that can beat you at any time. They're tough to beat in a series. I've been saying all along, if they have a shot in a super regional, they'll be tough to beat. But to answer your question, they do a lot of the small things. Matt does a great job. I give him credit. He's not scared to take risks. It's kind of a high risk, high reward type offense. And they can run. They can
throw down to first. Not quite in time, but a nice throw from Cameron Toole behind the dish to try to catch Brett Hoffman at first base.
They got good team speed. They can run, and got some guys in the middle that can drive the baseball. So kind of having one of those magical years that we all hope for and wish for. So nothing but praise and good words for Matt and his staff in Southeastern.
Hoffman only 2 for 2 in stolen base attempts, so you wouldn't expect him to straight steal, but we did see Menard square initially. Menard, by the way, flew out to right his first time up. He is 0 for 1. Let's talk about what went on with your squad, Coach. We'll get to that in just a moment. Make sure you're connected well here. As again, squaring to bunt, that time taking the strike is Kenan Menard. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Let's talk about what your team did today, fighting back off the elimination game. You play again at 9 a.m. tomorrow, but bases loaded, nobody out in the top half of the first inning, just 1 run allowed in the second, and then Josh Aller, who does that all the time, it seems like, puts guys on and leaves them there. Again, it looks like small ball for the Lions, and again, a strike inside. That's 2 strikes. Might take that play off a little bit. But talk about the resilience of your team and what they did this morning to come away with a 4-3 win over Nichols.
Well, Josh in the first inning, he just minimized the inning. Something he's done his whole career. He's going to scatter hits. He's going to scatter 10 to 12 hits, get runners on. But what he does so well is he minimizes innings, and that's how we were able to win. The first inning was huge this morning.
Well, Menard will square on 1-2 and take that pitch outside. Obviously, the foul out in play here, so interesting to see Menard go ahead and continue to square even with 2 strikes. So you've used 1 bullpen guy. You've used Brandon Smith, your closer, for 3 1/3. Give me some indication of what you can do moving forward with the rest of your bullpen available and then your third starter set to go tomorrow at 9 a.m., Jeffrey Stovall. Bunt will be laid down the first base side, so even with 2 strikes, they go ahead and lay down the successful sacrifice bunt for Menard. Goes down 3-4 on the putout. Nice work by Kenan Menard, even with 2 strikes, to go ahead and make that sacrifice bunt happen. And now a runner in scoring position for Southeastern as Hoffman ends up down at second base. Right fielder Julian Service will step in. He's 0 for 1, grounded out to second his first time up. Bryce Kingsley has to work out of a little bit of trouble here. Breaking ball in the dirt. So where do you set up going forward now, Lane? You've only used 1 bullpen arm, 2 starters. You've got Jeffrey Stovall going tomorrow, who certainly can eat up some innings if necessary. But how are you set up after having used your closer for 3 1/3 today?
Well, it's all hands on deck now. Everybody's on call. And, we're going to be throwing some guys. We got to win 4 games in 2 days. We talked about that. Our guys know what's in front of them. We'll run Jeffrey out there tomorrow. He's his last 4 outings have been phenomenal. He's pitched well, the best he's pitched all year. He's going to fill up the strike zone. We know that. But there's no tomorrow. As you saw Nichols today, Coach Thibodeau, they had to go to the pen early and often. And that's what you got to do when you're facing elimination.
1-1 delivery to Service. Another breaking ball, beautiful, right on the outside corner for the strike. Were you at all surprised by the top 4 seeds all falling on the first day of the Southland tournament?
No, we talked about this. You know, I think our league is so strong and so close-knit together, 1 to 8. It doesn't matter what seeds. We got a lot of great coaches, great players, and anybody can beat anybody on any given day.
The 1-2 got him swinging, another one down low, and that a huge out for Bryce Kingsley. The swinging strikeout, leaving Hoffman at second for the time being. For Chris Eads, Eads grounded out to short his first time up. Certainly Kingsley would love that. 2-0 Southeastern with the lead here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. We're talking to Lane Burroughs, the Northwestern State head coach. Demons surviving and advancing this morning. 9 a.m. games, you've got the potential to play 3 in a row now. Just a mindset you have to overcome, like the weather that everyone's had to overcome this year?
It is. We talk about toughness in our program and dominating the elements. And getting up and playing a 9 a.m. game is an element. It doesn't have to be the weather per se, and it's something I told our guys we'll see how tough we are. They knew what we were facing, and we know what's ahead of us, so it's just a matter of overcoming it mentally.
Kingsley's fastball misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes now to Eads in the 8th spot. Ryan Byers, the left fielder, waits on deck. This is your first trip down here to Constellation Field. The first time that this was held here 2 years ago. Demons did not make it in your first year. You engineered one of the largest comebacks in Southland Conference history from one year to the next. As that one's lined into left field. Will drop for a base hit. Gilbo up and throwing. No chance for Hoffman to make it home. So just a single for Chris Eads into left field. But runners at the corners with 2 away. Same thing that happened in the last inning. 2 outs. Southeastern scratched across a run with a couple of 2-out singles. 3 in a row to be exact. So Ryan Byers, the left fielder, steps in. He grounded out to short his first time up. 0 for 1 on the day. Trying to keep the rally going here with 2 outs in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Now we're going to have a conversation. Justin Hill will already make the call to the bullpen. So that'll do it for Bryce Kingsley. Justin Hill has seen enough. We'll see a new arm for the McNeese Cowboys. Take a break, come back, give you the new arm for McNeese State. Bryce Kingsley's morning and afternoon is done. Back with more of the Southland Tournament on ESPN.
McNeese State and Southland Conference baseball fans, your vote is needed. Help support McNeese outfielder Andrew Guillat by logging on to www.seniorclassaward.com and voting for the senior as the nation's top student athlete. Voting is open through June 8th, and you can vote up to 3 times per day. So act today and vote for McNeese's Andrew Guillat as this year's Senior Class Award recipient.
I'm Andrew Guillat, and I approve this message.
We just can't hear it in our ears, but as long as one can hear it. Second-year manager Justin Hill makes the quick call to the bullpen. Cole Prejean, senior from Bruley, Louisiana. 2-3 with a 2.70 ERA. 28th appearance of the year, 27th in relief. He does have a save. 53 in a third innings, 38 hits, 16 runs, 15 walks, 44 strikeouts. Opponents batting .209. Off the righty, Cole Prejean. Joining us in the press box, Lane Burroughs, the head coach of the Northwestern State Demons, the 2 seed, who lost yesterday to Houston Baptist, the 7 seed, 4-1. Survived against the 3 seed Nichols this morning, advancing 4-3. And this is, I would imagine, for you're in your 3rd year. Justin Hill's in his 2nd year. Matt Reiser's in his 2nd year. A lot of great young coaches in this league, but I've got to figure that this is a tough scenario in the losers bracket. How does it change your approach to replacing pitchers when you're looking at the idea that you may not have tomorrow to play?
You can't mess around. You got to make a move to the pen early and often if you have to. There's no tomorrow. We saw Nichols do that. Coach Thibodeau this morning. He didn't waste any time getting Deems out of the game, and that's all you can do. You got guys down there to help you win this game, extend it. You got to go to it.
Ryan Byers steps in, the left fielder. We mentioned grounded out to short his first time up. Runners at the corners with 2 out. Southeastern's fans getting into it. Beautiful breaking ball from Prejean for strike 1. I think the music is still playing here in the press box. That's why they went ahead and home plate umpire turned around and made the motion. Aaron Freeman working behind the plate. Ken Langford at first. Thomas Walkowiak at second. And Chris Simons at third base. One of the luxuries of tournament play, you get a full staff of 4 umpires. That one misses low and outside. So the rest of the way, Coach, what continue the same philosophy, or can you afford to pace yourself knowing that there is the potential, as you mentioned, for 4 more games in 2 days? Can you pace yourself with your bullpen, or is it just you've got to go with who you can get out there and knows you can get outs with?
You got to go with what you got to go with. You can't pace yourself. No tomorrow. Every inning, every pitch is important. And I know that's cliche. I know all the coaches say that. But when you're in a loser's bracket and elimination and there's no tomorrow, you got to win the tournament to get to a regional. We know that. So there's no tomorrow, and you got to.
1-2, swing and a miss. Beautiful pitch by Prejean. Gets McNeese out of the inning. Lane Burroughs, congratulations on surviving, and we will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Thank you very much.
That was Demon head coach Lane Burroughs from the 2-seed Northwestern State. McNeese gets out of trouble. Cole Prejean comes in and gets the strikeout to strand 2. At the top of the 5th, 2-0. Southeastern Louisiana leads. You're watching Southland Conference Tournament action on ESPN.
There is no royal blood in this country. Nothing is reserved for anyone. It's all just out there, waiting for someone to reach out and take it. And the ones who do, these are the kings and queens of America.
Sunday Night Baseball, Rangers-Yankees tonight at 8. Baseball rules on ESPN.
No! Bad dog! Outside! We've been through this. Disgusting.
How you like it when the little guys are coming out and enjoying some baseball on a beautiful, well, it is finally afternoon. Mike Wagenheim and Patrick Netherton, we've been up since, well, I was up at 6:45. Not sure what time you got up, Wags, but it was early for the 9 a.m. game between Nichols and Northwestern State. 6, 7, 8 in the order due up here for McNeese. By the way, closed the book on the starter Bryce Kingsley from the Cowboys. 3 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts for him as the first pitch is in for a strike to James Cantu. Cantu singled back up the middle his first time up. Swings at a pitch well outside of the zone. Jake Johnson, just over 50 pitches now, continues to cruise. Got strikeouts of the last 2 batters he faced in the 4th inning. 4 Ks now in 4+ innings. Another one that just lifted into left center field. That'll drop. Probably will be extra bases. Cantu very fast around first. Digs and slides into second. Leadoff double for James Cantu. So McNeese has something going here in the top half of the 5th inning.
Cantu knew right off the bat he was trying for 2. No doubt in his mind.
And that's impressive considering the fact that ball was not hit particularly deep. But then again, the outfielders against Cantu were playing very shallow, so they didn't really have an angle to come and cut that off. And that meant Cantu cruises into second, which will bring up Lewis Gilbo, the left fielder for the Cowboys. He grounded out to third his first time up, 0 for 1, as McNeese tries to rally here in the 5th inning.
Got 3 Cowboys now with 14 doubles on the year.
Very impressive. First pitch misses outside, though if you've ever been to Lake Charles and seen their field, it shouldn't surprise you. It is a little bit of a bandbox there in Lake Charles. A lot of balls, I would imagine, hit off the wall there. They have a double-decker wall as well. That one hit right at the 2-hopper to the shortstop, and Menard boots it. Unfortunately, Cantu cannot move up for the Cowboys. It will, however, put Louis Gilbo aboard.
It looked like Menard took his eye off the ball and trying to make sure Cantu got back to second, or maybe was trying to set him up for a possible put out. Yeah, he lifted his head up ever so slightly.
Ruled as an error. Cantu does not advance, and Gilbo stays at first. But first and second with your 8-hole hitter up, this brings up an interesting situation, Mike. Do you lay down? This calls for an automatic sacrifice here with first and second and nobody out, but your 9-hole hitter is the guy that's up next, Cameron Toole. He does square. That's his Matt Gallier. Takes that pitch outside for ball 1. I mean, that's the prescription. I mean, ultimately, you want to lay down the sacrifice here. As third base coach Roberto Vaz goes through the signs.
Apparently has confidence in his catcher, Toole. He's only hitting a .191 this year, but...
Well, and that's the issue. You sacrifice with the 8-hole hitter, who's batting .288 with 6 homers and 20 runs driven in. You have him lay down the sack, but then you bring up a guy, as you mentioned, Toole is only hitting .191 coming into this game. So a lot of things percolating right now. He lays the sacrifice down. The catcher will come up and go to third. Eads gets the lead runner. Great play by Chris Eads behind the dish. Comes up and throws a strike to get James Cantu at third base. Erases the lead runner. Remains first and second, but now with 1 out. So Gallier reaches on the fielder's choice. What a great play coming up.
In that situation, your pitcher's kind of playing traffic cop, but I'm not sure if Johnson really got a good look at the field as he was charging in there.
I don't know that anybody, I'm not sure who told him third. I think that was just a field play by Eads. Cameron Toole, the 9-hole hitter, the catcher is up. He grounded out to the pitcher his first time up. Time was called right before Johnson made that throw.
We mentioned earlier Cameron Toole, the Cowboy catcher, was on the Johnny Bench Award watch list. Well, so is Chris Eads.
Yeah, rightfully so with that kind of strike on the bunt attempt. Breaking ball misses outside. 1-0. McNeese with its best opportunity. Matter of fact, it's the first time they've had a runner in scoring position in this game against Jake Johnson. Had the leadoff single in the first, then the offensive interference. Had a 2-out single in the second. He was left there. A 1-out single in the fourth, then a back-to-back strikeouts.
Look out.
Now throw a little bit high coming back to the pitcher, Johnson. Well, you're not going to get on any award watch list making that kind of throw back to the pitcher. But the count 2 balls and no strikes. So Toole, if he finds a way aboard, even with a walk, you flip it back to the top of the order with Guillotte and Provenzano, you'll feel pretty good about yourself. And Toole, got to imagine he's taking on 3-0 and might even take on 3-1. Force Johnson to throw him one. All 3 Cowboys that have been up in this inning so far here in the top of the 5th have reached. Taking all the way. In for a strike. McNeese trying to get something going here to rally in the top of the 5th inning. Gave up a single run in the first and a single run in the third to Southeastern Louisiana. The Lions are the home team by virtue of a coin flip because both teams were the home team yesterday. Taking on 3-1 as well, and Johnson throws him a pair of strikes.
Hasn't walked anybody yet.
Has K'd 4 so far. Not surprised, really, that he elected to go ahead and take on 3-0 and 3-1. Figured he might have had Johnson rattled a little bit. Let's see what 3-2 looks like. Nice battle there from Toole. Working the pitch count a little bit. Johnson going over 60 pitches now. So the pitch count still fairly manageable.
Cowboys faced Johnson back in mid-April. Lasted 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Kind of a ho-hum performance.
Second 3-2 pitch. And another one fouled off. So a good battle here between the catcher Cameron Toole in the 9 spot and Jake Johnson. Crowds continuing to filter in here at Constellation Field. Cowboys trying to stave off elimination. Loser of this game goes home. Another payoff pitch, and he walked. Cameron Toole draws the walk. 3 straight balls, 2 straight strikes, 2 fouled off, and then the 4th ball, and now back to the top of the order for Andrew Giat with the bases loaded and 1 out, and Matt Reiser is going to make his way out from the Southeastern dugout, and he's also going to send some guys chugging down to the bullpen. Looks like Cade Grenier is heading out there to get ready to loosen up, and a long conversation with Reiser here.
Matt Reiser, the head coach of the year in the Southland Conference, done a remarkable job living up, I guess, to the lofty standards J.R. Teagues had set in his tenure with the program. It's not easy for a coach, especially someone outside of the program, to come in. Reiser has done a heck of a job just keeping things the way that they were.
Well, and it's not enough. It's not enough that you're following in the footsteps of J.R. Teagues. He's also your boss.
Right.
When R. Teagues moved up from the baseball coach to the athletic director spot, it's a little bit like a little down the road, a little west of Hammond, what happened in Baton Rouge when Smoke Laval and then Paul Maneri were hired at LSU, and their athletic director was Skip Burtman. Now, obviously, Skip Burtman, one of the great legends of all time in college baseball, but it's a little bit tougher, I'd imagine, when the former guy, the former boss, the one who really built the program, is the one that's calling the shots and looking over your shoulder. So Giat steps in, bases loaded, 1 out. All 4 Cowboys have reached base. The 1 was out. This one a grounder right at the third baseman. Hoffman goes home for 1. Eads to first. Not in time. Giat beats it out. So Southeastern cannot turn the double play, but again they get the lead runner. Eads on the sacrifice bunt attempt came up and got the lead runner at third. This time Brett Hoffman, the third baseman, comes in and gets the force out at home. So that brings up Provenzano, freshman of the year in the conference, who's 0 for 2 today. Bases remain loaded, now 2 outs.
Conversation here down the third baseline between Roberto Vaz and Provenzano. You mentioned, Matt Reiser answering to his boss. Well, it was his boss for a number of years anyway while Reiser was the hitting coach. And I think J.R. Teagues was smart enough to realize, listen, I know what I'm getting here. This guy has the experience. He's got the mentality to be the head coach. Need to be a little bit hands-off, worry about the rest of the department. Just kind of let Reiser take the reins and run with it, and he's done it.
This one
paid off.
Ground ball to the right side, easily handled by Kreitz, and Southeastern gets out of the inning. Bases loaded, 2 men on with no outs, bases loaded with 1 out, bases loaded with 2 outs, and McNeese cannot score a run. Into the bottom half of the 5th, 2-0. Southeastern Louisiana remains in the lead. This is Southland Conference Tournament Baseball on ESPN.
McNeese State and Southland Conference baseball fans, your vote is needed. Help support McNeese outfielder Andrew Giat by logging on to www.seniorclassaward.com and voting for the senior as the nation's top student athlete. Voting is open through June 8th, and you can vote up to 3 times per day. So act today and vote for McNeese's Andrew Giat as this year's Senior Class Award recipient.
I'm Andrew Giat, and I approve this message.
Back at Constellation Field, we saw the sun briefly. You might want to tell her she can put her umbrella away for a little while. I don't believe it's raining or sunshine. Just overcast. It's been that way most of the morning here in southwest Houston, Sugar Land, Texas, suburb of the Houston metro area.
It's a very fashionable umbrella, though.
Well, I would carry one like that if I had the opportunity to. Top of the order for Southeastern Louisiana, center fielder Jacob Seward. His first pitch strike from Cole Prejean. Seward 0 for 2 at the top of the order. He's grounded out to second, grounded out to the pitcher. Player of the year in the Southland Conference. Beautiful breaking ball from Prejean, and he's quickly ahead in the count 0-2.
Patrick, we saw those lost opportunities for Nichols earlier on in the day against Northwestern State and McNeese. Down 2-0 opportunities in the 5th inning, a leadoff double and an error put him in a good situation and could not capitalize. And the Lions don't let you get into games very often. When they give you a shot, you got to take it.
That ball lined into left center field, so an opening single for Jacob Seward on an 0-2 pitch, by the way. Very costly mistake for most pitchers. You don't want to leave 0-2 up where someone can get some aluminum on it, and that brings up Carson Kreitz. Kreitz has been the story today, 2 for 2 with a double and a triple, plus he scored both runs for Southeastern Louisiana. Kreitz out of the West Texas area, Amarillo, getting on up towards the Panhandle there in Amarillo. Again, just a sophomore, just like the man right in front of him, Seward. Finds a strike on the inside corner. Prejean coming in relief. So far throwing strikes, just 1 ball and 8 pitches. Southeastern starting to get some activity going in their bullpen as well. Really changes the complexion. We heard Lane Burrows, the Northwestern State coach, mention it. Changes how you approach things when you're in the loser's bracket. Much more willing to go into the bullpen early, into the bullpen often, stretch some of your bullpen guys. The closer for Northwestern State goes 3 1/3 to get the save. Just changes the entire complexion of your team when you're faced with having to win 5 games in 4 days. And now 5 games in 3 days, and then now 4 games in 2 days.
Prejean was in this situation last year against Corpus Christi in an elimination game. That was up in Conway. He went 4 innings and really pitched the ball well. Couple of hits, shut him out, 3 strikeouts, and helped McNeese to survive and advance, and that's all it's about at this point.
Now you can't leave your guys over in the bullpen. If your closer's sitting in the bullpen not pitching, he's not doing you any good. And another clean single through the left side. So Southeastern has something going here against Prejean. Back-to-back singles, and that makes Carson Kreitz now 3 for 3 on the day. So now an interesting situation for Matt Reiser. As you have first and second with nobody out, you have the heart of your order, Daniel Midyet, the designated hitter, and Kevin Carr, your first baseman, up. You know, obviously the percentage play, Mike, is you lay down the sack bunt here and then let your cleanup hitter go in there and do the job for you. But Midyet's a great hitter in his own right, coming in hitting .309, 8 homers, and 45 runs driven in. What do you do?
I don't know if I lay down that bunt here.
I mean, you could play for the big inning right now. Maybe put this one away. That one swung on and missed. They throw down behind at second. Got him at second base. What a throw from Cameron Toole. Connor Lloyd sneaking in behind Jacob Seward at second base, and a bad base running mistake by Seward as Lloyd gets the glove down. Now that changes things completely. Instead of first and second with nobody out, it's first with 1 out. And Matt Reiser's going to call over Midyet. Well, you don't often see Southeastern Louisiana, an incredibly aggressive team on the base paths. You don't see them often make mistakes like that. But that is a huge mistake from the player of the year in the conference.
Just straying too far and was confident in Midyet's ability to get the bunt down and took that extra step and a half. But it took a great throw to get him. That's exactly what Cameron Toole made.
And Toole put it right on the front edge of the bag, the third base edge of the second base bag. All Lloyd really had to do was put the glove down. And that a massive play if McNeese is going to stay in this game at this point. Lions wearing those camo jersey tops with the white pants. I love the McNeese, those blue unis that McNeese have on. Just have a very classic look to them. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Winner of this game advances to play tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. against Northwestern State in another elimination game. Winner of that game plays at 4 p.m. And if the team out of the losers bracket wins that one, they play again Saturday at 9 a.m. So potentially 3 consecutive 9 a.m. games for one of these two teams and or Northwestern State. The 1-2 misses low. Not a shocker, though, Wags, that the top 4 seeds would fall in the Southland tournament. This is 3 of the top 4 fell on the first day in the tournament last year. This tournament, this conference is just so balanced top to bottom.
It was only, 5 years ago? It's 2010 where all 4 of the top seeds lost on the first day. So this is not an every year occurrence, but it's not rare either. It's just the balance and the parity in this league, and it just goes to show you everybody has a very, very solid frontline starter. The difference in the Southland Conference between the great teams and the teams in the middle of the pack and the bottom teams, it doesn't come on the first day of the weekend. It comes on the second and especially the third day. But anything can happen in the opening game between two teams.
Yeah, most of these teams have good Friday and Saturday guys. Typically, Friday and Saturday is covered. It's Sunday that becomes an adventure for most of these teams. And if you've got 3 quality starters that you can run out there, you're really in good shape. You add to that a midweek guy, and you're really set up. This one a little flare right at the shortstop. Lloyd tries to get the double play back at first, but Kreitz is back in time. That time Lloyd didn't need to be 5'8". 5'7" did him just fine. So mid-yet, little flare out. That'll bring up first baseman Kevin Carr. Carr is 2 for 2, driven in a run, has a double back in the first, and the RBI single in the third.
You look at a team like Northwestern State, who has survived today and they'll play again tomorrow. You got Jeffrey Stovall going, who's been an anchor in the rotation all year, but so many games were rained out for the Demons this year that there just aren't a whole lot of guys with midweek experience.
No, and that's the thing. They have a designated midweek starter in Evan Tidwell, but he's thrown so infrequently. They did not have a lot of midweek games down the stretch, and a lot of teams start tapering off their midweek games as the stretch run of the conference season comes about. But then you have so many of these games rained out, just not getting any regular work. Ball swung on, count 1-1 now. Bottom of the 5th inning. He's Mike Wagenheim from Nicholls State. I'm Patrick Netherton from Northwestern State. We appreciate Chris Mykoski and the Southland Conference for giving us an opportunity to come in here and either bore or entertain you, depending on. I think the only one that's really entertained is my mother, she has no chance of being able to watch this. Throw over to first to check on Kreitz. Kreitz on the season 11 of 14 in stolen base attempts.
No Watch ESPN app for Mama Netherton?
If she had the Watch ESPN app, there is no chance she would understand how to actually use it. I have to explain to her how to text message about every other week. Another throw across, just wanted to keep Kreitz close by. Don't want to let the Lions steal a base and get a guy into scoring position. One of their 2 runs came with 2 outs. That back in the 3rd inning. They scored a single run in the first and 1 in the 3rd. Back to overcast here at Constellation Field, and another 3rd straight throw across to first base from Cole Prejean, the reliever. McNeese already in their bullpen. Bryce Kingsley just lasting into the 4th inning. Ball hit through the left side, another base hit. Southeastern Louisiana now 10 hits in the ball game. Only 2 runs to show for it, but Mike, you continue to put the ball in play as often as they do. 10 hits that becomes 12, 14, 15 hits. You're just not going to be able to keep them off the scoreboard much longer, I don't think.
No, they wouldn't have been kept off the scoreboard there had it not been for the pickoff of Seward earlier in the inning.
So Brett Hoffman steps in. Hoffman, the third baseman, batting in the 5 spot in the order. So we'll have a consultation coming out to the mound. Hoffman is 1 for 2, struck out swinging to end the first and led off the fourth with a single as Corey Barton makes his way out to chat things over with his hurler Cole Prejean. Tournament is set up the rest of the day now in the winner's side. On this side of the bracket, the side that McNeese and Southeastern Louisiana are on, you'll see Sam Houston as they took down McNeese in game 1 5-1. That was the late game last night. Southeastern Louisiana falling to A&M Corpus Christi, so the Islanders will take on the Bearcats later this afternoon. All the games will be covered on ESPN3. Runners at first and second now. Another beautiful breaking ball in for strike 1 to Hoffman.
Hoffman seems like he's been in the Lion lineup for years and years and years, and he has, really.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Second all-time in games played there.
That one gets low, dirt ball, and heads up base running from Kreitz as he'll take third on the wild pitch. Puts himself just a little bit closer to scoring here. Carr stays put at first base.
Kreitz always seems to have a smile on his face.
Well, you would too if you were 3 for 3. It's already scored a pair of runs and now standing at third base. A&M Corpus and Sam Houston will play tonight at 7. The next game in the rotation for the Southland Tournament, Central Arkansas and Houston Baptist, the home team really. That one fouled off. Houston Baptist, 4-1 winner over Northwestern State. Houston Baptist, the 7 seed, advancing to play in the next game against Central Arkansas. UCA defeating Nichols 7-6. The Colonels with a 4-run bottom of the ninth and had the tying run at third base for a ground out to first ended that one. The comeback attempt by the Colonels. Check swing, they're going to say he went. And there you go, Toole will finish that one off. So Cole Prejean gets out of danger, giving up 3 hits in the inning, but no runs come across. We head to the 6th, 2-0, Southeastern Louisiana over McNeese State. You're watching the Southland Conference Baseball Tournament on ESPN.
At Mid-South Bank, we're dedicated to providing loans that allow our customers to achieve their business and personal dreams. That's one promise you can bank on. We're not just business associates, we're neighbors. We're committed to our customers and the strength of our local economy. Here at Mid-South Bank, responsibility matters. With locations in Texas and Louisiana and still growing. Discover how our customers are finding strength in numbers at Mid-South Bank.
The Southland Conference is 4,200 student athletes from 13 member institutions, competing in 17 NCAA Division I sports. We are Southland Strong.
Exactly what we look like in the booth right now. Feet up, just hanging out. Patrick Netherton, Mike Wagenheim, just hanging out with you here on ESPN. Good day at the ballpark. Overcast, not a whole lot of threat for sunburn here today. Luckily, the rain has stayed away. Good contingent of Southeastern Louisiana fans and McNeese fans have made their way out here to Constellation Field. Connor Lloyd will lead things off. 3, 4, 5 in the order due up here for McNeese State. Another one high, 2-0. I misspoke earlier. I want to correct myself, and actually thanks to Chris Mykoski for catching it. This is the opposite side of the bracket from the game that happens tomorrow at 9 a.m. The loser of the 7 o'clock game today, A&M Corpus Christi and Sam Houston, will play the winner of this game tomorrow at noon. And obviously the loser of that game will go home. 3-0 now. Taking all the way is Lloyd for a strike. There's your bracket. All lower seeds advancing. Central Arkansas, the 6th seed. Houston Baptist, the 7th seed. Both advancing, as Lloyd thought he had that taken care of. Thought it was ball 4. He was headed to first. On the opposite side, A&M Corpus Christi, the 8th seed. And Sam Houston, the 5 seed. And all the way back from 3-0, Lloyd strikes out. Big pitches from Jake Johnson.
5 strikeouts for the right-hander now, and Lloyd heads back.
1 away for Billy Summers, the designated hitter. Johnson continues to operate effectively. Obviously, the longer a starter can eat up innings, the better things will go for Southeastern Louisiana. We mentioned the prospect of 5 games in 3 days, including 2 on Friday and 2 on Saturday. That could both be necessary. Coming up today in the next game, in the winners bracket on the 2, 3, 6, and 7 side, the 2 seed Northwestern State in that bracket, Central Arkansas and Houston Baptist due up next. Chris Mikoski, I believe, will be back in for you on that one, doing yeoman's work all the way through the tournament. The 2-2, that one a flare, but handled easily by the Southeastern shortstop, Kennan Menard. So 2 up and 2 down. Johnson continues to cruise.
He just has McNeese guessing.
Yeah, they're completely flummoxed by him right now. That brings up Connor Crane, the first baseman. Crane is 0 for 2. He struck out twice. And all of the strikeouts have been swinging in this game. So McNeese trying to be aggressive, but ultimately coming up empty on their swings. Right there in the middle of the order, too, the 4 and 5 hitters between Billy Summers and Connor Crane. 3 strikeouts between them. They've gone 0 for 5. See what Crane can do here, and he'll promptly hit one into center field. Chasing the center fielder, Jacob Seward back, but he'll come away with that one. A 3 up and 3 down. 6th inning work by Jake Johnson. Head to the bottom half of the frame. Still 2-0. Southeastern Louisiana leads over McNeese State. You're watching Southland Tournament Baseball on ESPN.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
Pillow of the ear.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Two to nothing, Southeastern Louisiana leading McNeese State. The Lions, the regular season champion of the Southland Conference. The 1 seed coming in fell yesterday to Texas A&M Corpus Christi, the 8-seeded Islanders. Behind Trevor Belichick getting the 4-2 win. Advancing them to the winners bracket. Meanwhile, Southeastern Louisiana and McNeese both playing for their lives here First pitch strike to Kennan Menard, the shortstop for the Lions. Ground that one just foul of third base. Menard is 0 for 1. He has flown out to right, lay down a sac bunt in the fourth inning, something that Southeastern Louisiana does a lot and very well. They also steal a lot of bags, although we haven't seen any yet so far. Saw one major base running error by the Lions in the last inning. Jacob Seward getting picked off of second base. Cole Prejean remains in for his second complete inning of relief work.
You wonder what could have been in that fifth inning for Southeastern. Runner picked off a second, and that leaping grab by Connor Lloyd at short, robbing Daniel Midyet. Big inning turned into nothing.
A couple of wasted pitches on 0-2 and 1-2. More activity in the bullpen for the Cowboys, who, by the way, matching the Southeastern Louisiana camouflage jerseys, they're wearing camouflage hats. Easy ball for Provenzano at second base. He'll take care of that one for the first out of the inning. Brings up right fielder Julian Service. Service is 0 for 2. Stalking out in the bullpen is the closer for McNeese. Colin Kober has one of the more interesting releases you'll see. Not only a side armor, but almost more of a submarine release, that almost underhand throwing style. Service is 0 for 2. As I mentioned, struck out once, and he'll line that one right at Provenzano. So Provenzano, the busy man so far, but quick work here. 2 up and 2 down for Chris Eads, the Lion catcher. Eads making a fantastic defensive play on a sacrifice bunt attempt, cutting down the lead runner with first and second and nobody out. Cowboys ultimately got the bases loaded with 1 out and with 2 outs and couldn't play to run. That, I think, potentially may be the turning point in this game. Eads fouls that one off.
Kober, meanwhile, just throws at such an extreme angle.
It's insane.
From the third base side, as a right-handed hitter, you can have a ball looks like it's coming and hitting you, and all of a sudden it's back out over the plate.
0-2, got him going. They'll appeal down, and first base umpire Aaron Freeman says he went. So 3 up and 3 down go the Lions in the 6th. When we come back, we'll turn it back over to the professional in the broadcast booth, Mike Wagenheim. He'll take you through the final 3 innings as Southeastern Louisiana continues to lead McNeese State 2-0. You're watching Southland Conference Tournament Baseball action, ESPN.
When you're looking for the perfect award or branding solution, look no further than Levy Marketing and Awards. A true innovator in the art of recognition, Levy Marketing and Awards is a U.S. custom awards manufacturer with over 50 years of experience providing guaranteed personal service and high-quality production catering to athletics and collegiate sports. Log on to LevyMarketingAwards.com or call toll-free 855-879-5389 to create your lasting impression today. Levy Marketing and Awards, providing streamlined solutions to meet all of our clients' business needs.
Cheer for the stumbles, the he shoulda had that's, and the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
Seventh inning coming around here from Sugar Land, Texas. Southeastern Louisiana, the regular season champs of the Southern Conference. On top of McNeese, 2-0. Lion right-hander Jake Johnson with a 4-hit shutout going. And now Cowboy fans trying to will their club back into this thing. Johnson returning to work here. 6, 7, 8 batters due up. Cowboys and Lions trying to hang around another day. James Cantu at the plate. Johnson just missing. Johnson with a shaky 5th. Got out of the inning unscathed as the Lions, or rather the Cowboys, left him loaded. Johnson recovered with a 1-2-3-6.
Now, if anyone's going to start the rally, it might be James Cantu. 2 for 2 on the day, singled back in the 2nd, doubled in the 5th as well. he might be the guy. He actually doubled on an 0-2 pitch.
Johnson chucks one in the dirt.
But in the end, Mike, if this game goes the way that it's currently trending and Southeastern ends up winning, it's just going to be a matter of missed opportunities. McNeese had a couple of opportunities to maybe get a single run across, or even in that fifth inning get several runs across. Couldn't do it. Lions, meanwhile, took advantage of their opportunities.
Oh, pop up to third. Brett Hoffman into foul ground. One gone.
And it just seems like, and you mentioned it, it seems like McNeese is guessing a lot against Jake Johnson, and he has gotten stronger as this game has progressed. He's just now getting into the mid-80s in pitches. Certainly primed to go a complete game if Southeastern needs him to.
Mixing up not only the location, but the actual pitch selection as well. Just doing a wonderful job of keeping him off balance as Louis Gilbo stands in and smokes one to right center. Out of the reach of Carson Kreitz. A one-out single for Gilbo is now 1 for 3 on the day. Cowboy left fielder getting aboard, trying to get something going.
And again, that's fine and dandy. It's your fifth hit of the ball game, but what do you do? Do you get the clutch hit you need? And McNeese was incapable of doing that in the fifth inning.
Brings up the Lake Charles native, Matt Gallier. Strikeout and a fielder's choice as he tried to lay down a bunt back in the fifth. Lions got the lead runner out at third. There is some action down in the Southeastern pen. Looks like they got a couple of right-handers getting loose. Just missed high. 2-0 the count. That is Mason Klotz down there, along with Matt Skurler. Gallier fouls one back. Two 2-1 count here to Gallier. Big pitch.
And every time Johnson's needed a big pitch, he's delivered. He has risen to the occasion every single time. You heard Lane Burroughs mention Northwestern State's coach. 3 really solid starters for Southeastern.
Well, that one squeaks on through. So, 2 on and 1 out here.
Same scenario you had in the fifth. 2 on with 1 out. Then it was bases loaded with 1 out. Then bases loaded with 2 outs. No runs came across. McNeese has to get the timely hit.
Gallier with his first knock of the day, and it brings up Cameron Toole out of the 9th spot.
And it's all the bottom of the order. The entirety of that bases-loaded rally in the fifth was in the bottom 4 of the order.
Inside turn. Toole today with a comebacker. 1-3 put out back in the third, and then he walked in the fifth.
That was the walk that loaded the bases initially.
Remember, even in that rally, outside of Cantu's double, there wasn't much going on offensively for McNeese. You had the error, fielder's choice, put out the lead runner. A walk and another fielder's choice again, put out a lead runner, and a ground ball retired the side.
Now, Southeastern helped a lot. Toole, if you'll remember, coming up, went 3-0, then 3-2, then fouled a couple of pitches off before ultimately reaching on ball 4. So Toole had a great battle to ultimately get himself aboard. But that's when Southeastern started erasing the lead runner a couple of times in a row.
Left center field, racing over is Seward, won't get there. They're going to send home Gilbo. The throw going into third, and it gets by the third baseman Hoffman. Ricochet going to have a play at the plate. He is out by 10 feet.
Wow.
What a fortuitous bounce. Johnson going to back up the play, and it ricocheted right to him.
And And how about him, Johnson, diving with the backhand throw at the same time?
The deficit is cut in half on the RBI hit by Toole. The overthrow to third. Gallier cut down at the plate.
And the real play, which you didn't see, was just off screen, was Johnson, who, as that ball ricocheted, he's racing out after it back into the field of play, grabs it, backhand flips it as he's falling on his face, and makes a perfect strike to Eads. What a play by Johnson. And then, understandably so, he gets up and immediately starts screaming and fist pumping after he made that big play. But the lead is cut in half. McNeese finally gets on the board.
And Toole moved up to second on that throw. See how they wind up scoring that one. Andrew Guillotte with a chance to tie this thing up with a base hit. He's 1 for 3 today, singling back in the first, and was called for interference on a slide into second. Here comes Matt Reiser, a head coach for Southeastern Louisiana.
Yeah, by the way, I believe that goes down 8-1-2 on the putout at home plate.
That is correct. And it doesn't look like an error will be charged on the advancement to second base by Toole. So conversation here between Reiser and company. 2 Lions ready in the pen. And I believe this is going to be the end of the line for Jake Johnson.
No.
So we will have a new pitcher coming in here for Southeastern Louisiana. This will be right-hander Mason Klotz, who has only worked 7 1/3 innings all year. So an interesting choice here for Reiser as Klotz makes his way in. 2-1 ball game. Southeastern Louisiana with the advantage, but the Cowboys preparing to strike back. Fine job by Johnson. He gives up 3 consecutive hits here with 1 out in the 7th. There are 2 gone now after that outstanding defensive play by Johnson on the misfire to third that he backed up. So here is Mason Klotz, Louisiana native, in his junior season, 6'2", $183. Again, only 7 appearances all year, 7 1/3 innings of work, 10 hits allowed, 2 of those for extra bases. He's given up 10 runs, 8 earned, 7 walks, and 11 strikeouts, and 9.82 ERA, and a .323 batting average against.
Again, you mentioned an interesting choice here. Klotz, I mean, you look at, we're provided stat sheets, and you can look at the relievers, and typically the starters are at the top. There's a little gap, then there's the relievers. And when you start to see relievers in a 2-1 ball game, you start thinking, okay, we must be looking at someone on the top end of that relievers chart. But this is all the way down, second to worst ERA on the entire team. And that's what Mason Klotz has. He does have a save on the year, however.
That save came very early in the conference season at Incarnate Word. In fact, that was the first conference game he appeared in. But he's only pitched in 3 conference games since then.
You wonder if maybe there was an injury of some kind that kept him sidelined for a bit. By the way, obviously can't close the book yet on Jake Johnson, but 6 2/3 quality work by him, just under 100 pitches.
So Andrew Guillotte with a runner at second steps in, takes a strike down the middle, and maybe there's something in the scouting report that Matt Reiser sees here in this matchup between Klotz and Guillotte. Klotz pitched well on the final weekend of the regular season against New Orleans out of the pen. On this one, getting away from Chad Eads. So now the potential tying run is 90 feet away.
And that's the issue you run into, especially with a guy who hasn't thrown a ton, is what happens if he struggles locating the strike zone and throws wild pitches with a runner in scoring position.
Down and away, 2 balls and a strike. And that's 6 wild pitches for Klotz this year in 7 1/3 innings. Tying run 90 feet away. Down and outside again. 3 balls and a strike. Infield can play back with 2 gone. Little flare, and this will head out of play.
And that's when you wonder about Klotz also, only having thrown 7 1/3, having not pitched much during Southland play. Now, this is a tight situation. This is a team playing for its life. You have to wonder the pressure that's on a kid like Klotz who hasn't been there this year.
And that one gets behind Eads, and the tying run will score. The walk to Guillat, and the breaking ball got away.
And that's just what we were talking about, Mike. You have a guy that comes in, he's throwing breaking balls, he's got sort of a sidearm delivery, sort of 3-quarter slot. If he comes in not locating the strike zone, you've got a guy standing at second base. You can very easily wild pitch a run in, and he threw 2 of them in the at-bat to bring him home.
Takes McNeese starter Bryce Kingsley off the hook. And no decision now for Jake Johnson as Joe Provenzano bats. Southland Freshman of the Year takes a strike. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Everything's been hit to second base.
And again, that just changes the entire complexion. And I sometimes wonder about head coaches, and obviously these guys have coached and played a lot more baseball than I have, but sometimes I wonder when you come get a guy who maybe struggles a little bit but has had success for the most part.
Runner goes. Strong throw. Quick tag. Got him. That retires his side as Guillat is thrown out at second, but McNeese puts up a 2 spot. Here in the top of the 7th, we got ourselves a tie ball game. Good throw from Eads. Nice tag from Menard. Stretch time. Brand new ball game here from Sugar Land. This is a Southland Conference tournament on ESPN. Back here with you from Constellation Field in Sugar Land, Texas. Stretch time. 2-2 ball game now between Southeastern Louisiana and McNeese State. This is an elimination game. Let's take a look at how we got to this point here from Constellation Field. Highlights from this elimination contest as Southeastern Louisiana struck first. An RBI, ground out from Daniel Midyet in the bottom of the first, chasing in Carson Kreitz, who delivered a 1-out triple. Then in the 3rd inning, base hit by Kevin Carr going the other way as Kreitz scores once again. 2-0 Southeastern Louisiana after 3 innings of play. But McNeese, after failing to strike very often against Jake Johnson, delivering 2 runs in the top half of the 7th inning. Cameron Toole with an RBI single. They get another run on a wild pitch. A 2-2 affair here into the bottom half of the 7th. Ryan Byers leading off against reliever Cole Prejean. Byers falls behind 0-2. Prejean took over for Bryce Kingsley with a couple of outs in the 4th. He's been fairly solid so far. Byers, meanwhile, 0 for 2 with a ground out and strikeout as Prejean interrupts his windup.
We have to credit Prejean as well. I mean, Justin Hill came out and got Kingsley the starter very early, but Prejean has limited the damage. Done a very impressive job of that since coming in. Has not given up a run yet.
At a 1-2-3-6, finished it up with a strikeout. Pop up behind the plate, headed into the seats.
And there again, if you can get, these teams are facing the prospect. It's such a daunting task. Now, granted, it can be done. Central Arkansas did it a couple of years ago here at Constellation Field, where you lose your first game and then work your way out of the loser's bracket. But it requires so many arms to be able to do that. anytime you can get a guy that comes in and throws effectively and eats up innings, it's a huge bonus.
That's what Cole Prejean is doing right now as he gets Byers swinging for the second time. Now Jacob Seward coming up to bat, top of the order here for Southeastern. The Cowboys have a right-hander down in the pen again. That might be Kober loosening once more, their closer.
You can tell by the flowing mane coming out from the back of his hat.
Seward 1 for 3. Singled in the 5th, but was picked off second base. It's turned out to be a pretty big play here today. Strayed too far from the bag on a bunt. It's Cade Grenier in the Southeastern pen as Prejean just missed. 3-0 to Seward. Yeah, Kreitz on deck, and he has 3 hits today. Seward taking all the way, 3-1. There's Kober down there. Long locks and all. Yeah, Prejean coming back here, running the count full.
Hope everyone gets the chance to see Kober's release point. Never seen anyone step as hard to the third base bag to throw to the plate as Colin Kober does.
Prejean battled back, but it's ball 4. And actually, I believe officially it hit him. As home plate umpire throws up his hands. It's Thomas Wackowiak. Or is it? No, Aaron Freeman calling balls and strikes. So Seward officially hit with a pitch. He's on board with 1 out. Carson Kreitz coming up to bat here. Kreitz already 3 hits, including a triple. He scored twice. And here comes Justin Hill, the head coach from McNeese State. Prejean, admirable job out of the pen in relief of Bryce Kingsley. And it will be Kober, the stopper, one of the best in the nation, making his way in here for the Cowboys. We'll take a quick timeout, folks. Southeastern looking to regather the lead. 2-2 tie, bottom 7 here from Sugar Land in this elimination game. This is the Southland Conference Tournament on ESPN.
At Mid-South Bank, we're dedicated to providing loans that allow our customers to achieve their business and personal dreams. That's one promise you can bank on. We're not just business associates, we're neighbors. We're committed to our customers and the strength of our local economy. Here at Mid-South Bank, responsibility matters. With locations in Texas and Louisiana and still growing. Discover how our customers are finding strength in numbers at Mid-South Bank.
The Southland Conference is 4,200 student athletes from 13 member institutions, competing in 17 NCAA Division I sports. We are Southland Strong.
Right-hander Colin Kober, an early candidate on the watch list for Stopper of the Year in Division I baseball. The sophomore from Lake Charles will inherit a runner at first with 1 out here in the home half of the 7th inning, an elimination game between McNeese State and Southeastern Louisiana. And this kid is fun to watch, definitely a unique delivery, especially difficult on right-handed hitters. And he will face one of the hotter hitters in the league, Carson Kreitz, who already has 3 knocks on the day.
Impressive thing about Kreitz, Mike, is he's done it to every field. He's gone to left, he's gone to left center, he's gone to right center. Now he needs a hit to right to complete the every part of the ballpark cycle.
Down and away from Kober.
That backside, the center field angle is where you can really see his back leg. You know, he plants and looks at the plate, but his back leg falls so far to third. I continue to be amazed he doesn't just fall over during his delivery. His balance is incredible.
Runner in motion. This one chopped foul. Kober with 9. The Cowboys' 15 saves this year as Seward retreats to first. Kober also 6 wins.
A lot of innings for a guy who's made 26 appearances, 48 innings. I mean, you're talking about nearly 2 innings an outing. So he is not just a guy that's coming in to get you 3 outs, and obviously here he's not just coming in to get you 3 outs. He probably finishes this game.
Holding opponents to a .202 batting average. He's only allowed 3 extra base hits all year. Runner in motion again. This one fair. Long throw across. Nice pick by Crane, and there are 2 away as Seward moves up.
Really nice play by Gallier over there at third base on what could have been a tough play right at the bag, because he not only had to navigate the ball, he had to make sure his feet were okay as he was stepping on and around the bag. Make sure that he could then plan and make a strong throw.
Colbert got Kreitz golfing for that one. Daniel Midyett makes his way to the plate. We'll have a conversation on the mound here. This is the pitching coach for the Cowboys, Corey Barton, making his way out. Former assistant at Louisiana Monroe. Joined Justin Hill's staff last year when Hill took over.
I don't know exactly what he could be saying to him there. Hey, nice job getting it out. Get another one. Sometimes when pitching coaches come out, it surprises me. You'll see pitching coaches come out after a pitcher records a strikeout or records, gets a. I've seen pitching coaches come out in the middle of an inning and it's 0-2 on a guy. And I always wonder, what is he telling him? He's clearly having success. And what are you telling a guy, your closer at this point, Colin Kober? What are you telling him after he just got a ground ball out for out number 2? Probably not hit him.
Daniel Midyett plunked by the pitch. Second hit batter of the inning. 1 for Cole Prejean, now 1 for Colbert.
And I'll say this. There is a rule in college baseball that if you don't attempt to get out of the way of a ball that hits you, you can be called back to the plate. I've seen it a bunch of times this year. That could have been a candidate for that. Midyett didn't move at all out of the way of that pitch. Very easily could have been called back by our home plate umpire, Airman Freeman.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, it's so hard, even for a lefty, to judge that angle, which Kober is throwing at, that it's like looking in a mirror. Objects may be closer than they appear. As Kevin Carr takes one outside for a ball.
Speaking of hot hitters, Carr, another one, 3 for 3 today.
A wall-banging double back in the first. RBI single in the third. Base hit to left field in the 5th. Southeastern trying to get the lead back. This one struck well to right. James Cantu to the warning track, raises it down. Al will retire the side as Kober gets the Cowboys out of the inning. We will head to the 8th. 2-2 tie here from the Southland Tournament on ESPN.
Hey, Cam, what do you want these?
Yeah, just throw them back there.
Okay. Wow, what are all those?
Peabody, Riders Guild, Amy.
Dude, you've been here like a week.
Has it been that long?
We're always looking for ways to create a better viewing experience. So we started experimenting with a laugh track.
Hi there, welcome to Sports Center. Back alongside John Anderson. I'm Jay Harris.
If it helps get just one person to laugh at sports, then it's worth it.
Birdie putt? Would it go? No.
It's not without its flaws, but we think it gives the show a wider appeal.
Returning with you here from Constellation Field, Sugar Land, Texas. McNeese and Southeastern square at 2. Cowboy fans getting into it.
They're not wearing their sunglasses correctly, by the way.
Let him know.
I might go tell him.
We can see him from here. Right-hander Cade Grenier, the new pitcher here for the Lions, third hurler of the day. Takes over from Mason Klotz, who will be charged with a blown save, uncorking a couple of wild pitches and walking a batter in the seventh. Grenier on to face of 2, 3, 4 hitters in the lineup here for McNeese State. Cade Grenier out of Destrehan, Louisiana, in the New Orleans area. He's just a freshman, 6'4", 219-pounder.
But used a lot already, Mike. 4-1 with a 2.16 ERA, 21st appearance in relief in 33 1/3 innings as a freshman reliever. That is tremendous work. It also closes the book on the starter, Jake Johnson, who will be pegged for both runs ultimately on the wild pitch by Mason Klotz. Johnson ends up 6 2/3, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. Klotz 2/3 of an inning, walks 1, and of course uncorked those 2 wild pitches.
So we go on to the 8th. Provenzano at the bat against Grenier. Provenzano was up last inning when Andrew Guillotte was caught stealing to retire the side. Strike 1 to Provenzano, who's hitless in 3 at-bats today. And Connor Lloyd on deck, Billy Summers to follow him.
The amazing thing is the middle of the order for McNeese has not done much today. Guillotte's been strong at the top. A hit, a walk. He's been on base 3 times, but Provenzano's 0 for 3. Connor Lloyd's 1 for 3, and then behind him, Billy Summers and Connor Crane are both 0 for 3, 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts between them.
Grenier just missing there, so the 2 through 5 hitters are combined 1 for 12 today here for the Cowboys. Soft chopper over the mound. Kreitz gets to it, but lost the handle.
Just as I say that, base hit for Provenzano.
Seems like Kreitz felt like he had to rush that a bit. Fielded it from the side, trying to get his feet set underneath him, and lost the handle.
And I'm not sure even if he fields that cleanly and gets a chance to make the throw, I don't think there's any chance he gets Provenzano at first base. It was just such a slow roller and spent so much time in the air going over the head of Grenier at the mound.
Infield single for Provenzano, trying to keep him close.
And now it's Justin Hill's turn to play a little small ball, I would imagine.
Lloyd 1 for 3 on the day, has 7 sack bunts this year. That'll get the job done. Second baseman Kreitz covering, 3-4 on the putout as Provenzano, the potential go-ahead run, moves into scoring position. Nice job by Connor Lloyd.
By the way, we have a new second baseman I just noticed. Jacob Williams is now in at second base. Connor Kreitz, who was having such a fantastic ball game, sits, and Jacob Williams is now in at second base. It's incredibly tough to read the numbers on these jersey tops for Southeastern.
So big bat taken out of the lineup. In the person of Carson Kreitz as Billy Summers takes a strike, and he doesn't agree with it. Summers 0 for 3, lined out softly to shortstop his last time up. Three Lions converging on this one. Oh, and what an over-the-shoulder catch by Kenan Menard. My goodness.
He didn't catch that with his glove, by the way. He caught that with his glove and his bare hand. He basket caught that, but in both of his hands.
That is tremendous. He used the bare hand to shove the ball into the glove.
That's hashtag SC Top 10 right there.
A fantastic play by Kenan Menard for the second out as Connor Crane gets some words of wisdom here from third base coach Roberto Vaz. Menard was really, in the end, the only one with a shot at that one. Boy, did he make a play. Crane today 0 for 3. This one, and the gap, run down by Julian Service. Leadoff infield single, but the Cowboys can't do anything with it. And as we go to the bottom half of the 8th, this game's still tied up at 2. This is the Southland Conference Tournament on ESPN.
Yeah, one last question. Does that come in cream? What's taupe now? Uh-huh.
Soon to be 40-year-old player.
A-Rod wouldn't be able to play baseball all of a sudden?
What does he have left?
No credibility whatsoever.
Is the circus over?
I think he gets exposed a little bit.
He's Alex Rodriguez. He's not Willie Mays. If he can help him,
a lot to make up for.
$61 million over the next 3 seasons.
I'm sure there are going to be boos.
Rule 661. The best way to quiet the talk is to let your bat speak for you. Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. Rangers, Yankees, tonight at 8. Baseball rules on ESPN.
Hey, fellas, you using both blenders?
Last of the 8th inning, Southeastern put together a couple of runs early, but McNeese scored twice in the 7th, and we got a 2-2 tie in the last of the 8th. McNeese closer Colin Colbert came on in the 7th, hit a batter, but retired 2, enough to get the job done. He works outside to Brett Hoffman for a ball. Hoffman singled in the 4th. Base hit sandwiched in between a couple of strikeouts.
I want everyone to watch his back leg, his right leg, as it comes down. And tell me how he doesn't fall every single time he throws a pitch. It is remarkable.
And unlike a normal right-hander, you're not really in position to field a ball to the right side of the mound. He almost didn't keep his balance there.
I don't know how he doesn't do that every single time. His back leg comes so far out. Watch his back leg, the right leg. Just every single time. He actually hit his knee, his left knee on the mound at that point. But his right leg's so far out, he has no balance, no base to balance on.
Got one there, 3-1 to Hoffman.
And yet he's one of the most effective closers you're going to find in the country. Just goes to show you, like golf swings, they don't have to all look identical to be successful.
You know, the first, maybe even the second time you see him, it can be so distracting, it can work to his advantage.
Absolutely. And especially, as you mentioned, as a right-handed hitter, that ball looks like it's coming behind your back to start with. But again, he can locate the outside fastball to the left-handed hitters. If you can do that, you can pitch effectively. I don't care what your windup looks like.
Payoff pitch. Missed it. That is the first walk drawn by Southeastern Louisiana today. Had a couple of hit batters, but that's a first base on balls.
Which is remarkable considering they have 230 walks on the season.
Pinch runner coming into the ball game here for the Lions. And that is going to be Kyle Sedetall, their two-way player.
Yeah, he doubles as one of the best pitchers in the Southland Conference while he's at it.
Kyle Sedetall, junior from Denham Springs, and here's Kenan Menard at the bat. Sedetall's played a lot less in the field this year than he did in years prior. But very valuable in a situation like this.
He's also thrown 92 innings with a 1.86 ERA this year.
Right down the heart of the plate to Menard, who is 0 for 2 with a sac bunt. Had a magnificent play, an over-the-shoulder catch in left center field in the top half of this inning.
And you've got to imagine with the type of small ball that Southeastern has played since J.R. Teague's got there and now Matt Reiser continuing it, this has stolen base / sac bunt written all over it, especially in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, wasn't pretty, but it'll get the job done. 3-4 on the putout. A little air underneath that one, but got down in front of Connor Crane at first.
Doesn't have to be pretty, just has to work. That's exactly what Southeastern does. Sacrifice bunts, sacrifice flies, 34th sacrifice bunt of the year. They run, we mentioned, 90 stolen bases this year.
Here's Service at the plate. Hitless in 3 at-bats. He lined out to second his last time around. Just ran inside.
That's the other issue with that fastball from the right-hander Kober. It has a bit of a tail on it, and it actually comes back into right-hander. So not only do you start as a right-hander watching him throw what appears to be behind your back when he releases it, it breaks into the plate, and then it comes back into you when it's the fastball.
Big build is short. Lloyd slings and got him with a stretch by Crane. Up to third goes Setitol. 2 outs in the inning. So Setitol, the pinch runner, represents a potential go-ahead run here in the last of the 8th. It'll be Chris Eads batting for the Lions.
You mentioned Setitol has not played as much in the field. It's just his 10th appearance in the field for Southeastern.
Caught the corner, strike 1 to Eads.
If there is a tomorrow, got to figure Setitol is probably the starter.
I would imagine so. Tate Ciano got the ball yesterday. Jake Johnson today. That one dropping low to even up the count of the ball and a strike. A leadoff walk to Brett Hoffman by Kober. Pinch runner Setitol was sacrificed to second by Kenan Menard. Moved up to third on the bouncer to short by Julian Service. Oh, he leaned into that one. He's going to get his base anyway.
I'm really surprised Aaron Freeman let him go to first base. He certainly cocked that knee back inside toward the plate.
Do what you need to do to win a ball game. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Watch that back leg. You just, whoop, yep, just throw the knee out there. Make sure we get that contact. Justin Hill popped up on the top step over in the McNeese dugout to have a few words, and then now is working on his infield.
Second hit batter by Kober. Setitol 90 feet away from giving the Lions a lead for the second time.
Winner of this game plays at noon tomorrow against the loser of the Texas A&M Corpus Christi Sam Houston game. Loser goes home. Will be the second team eliminated from the Southland tournament.
We'll be down to 6 after this one. Here's Byers. Struck out his last 2 times up. Kyle Setitol likely tomorrow's starting pitcher for the Lions, and maybe can represent the winning run today. Bouncing ball to first, gobbled up by Crane. He'll make the play, and the threat averted here in the last of the 8th. We will go to the 9th inning. The Cowboys and the Lions playing for their postseason lives. We're tied at 2. This is the Southland Conference Tournament on ESPN.
We've recently hired a world-renowned chef in the cafeteria, but the only person who seems to understand him is Henrik Lundqvist.
It's from the first nuts and this first food.
Henrik, what do you say?
He said today's specials are pickled herring and blood cork.
Blood cork?
You know, we're a global company. It's about time our menu reflected that.
I'll just have a hamburger.
He's Alex Rodriguez, not Willie Mays.
Does he have
Is the circus over?
Rule 661. The best way to quiet the talk is to let your bat speak for you. Sunday Night Baseball, Rangers, Yankees, tonight at 8. Baseball rules on ESPN.
Our right fielder, Quan Atkins.
Well, earlier today, Northwestern State defeating Nichols as the Demons survive in advance. We get a look at Demon right fielder Quan Atkins there in the foreground, making a diving catch to save a run late in the ball game. McNeese State trying to move along as well. They're tied with Southeastern Louisiana here from Constellation Field in Sugar Land, Texas. 2-2 the score as we go into the 9th inning of play. Cade Grenier stays on the hill for Southeastern Louisiana. His new third baseman walking away there is Taylor Schwanner, a freshman from New Orleans. Grenier came on to pitch the 8th, gave up a leadoff infield hit, got the next 3 batters out. James Cantu at the bat to start the 9th. Down and away for a ball. Cantu has singled, doubled, and popped out so far.
Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, by the way, Southeastern will be at the top of the order. Couldn't ask for a better scenario to try to win it in the bottom of the 9th.
Grenier, third pitcher of the day for Southeastern. Starter Jake Johnson lasted 6 2/3. This one bounced to first. Handled by Kevin Carr. He'll make the play by his lonesome. So Cantu retired, 1 gone here for Louis Gilbo.
Interesting, Matt Reiser has, in the course of this game, has actually changed 2 infielders. So to me, it's incredibly rare to see a guy change infielders. He brought in Jacob Williams as a defensive replacement at second, and then, of course, pinch ran Setitol at third, who's now Taylor Schwanner out there.
Williams even coming off the bench, so still a threat in the lineup. He's hitting just an eyelash under 300 this year. Schwanner, though, just a $125 and limited chances. Schwanner will bat in the 5 spot in the order. His turn may come up. Sharp line drive, right center field. This one's going to get by Service all the way to the warning track. Extra bases for Gilbo. It's a standing 1-out double. His second hit.
Great piece of hitting. Just found one on the outside half, tailing back into him. Hit it a little bit on the handle, but nice job staying within himself on that swing. Didn't try to pull it, roll it over. Just went with it. Popped it the other way for a double. And so basically this just operates as if you had a leadoff walk and a sacrifice bunt. Now you're in that situation.
And Gallier, 1 for 3 today. Singled his last time up. Here comes Matt Reiser, Southeastern Louisiana's head coach. The Lions have a righty up in the bullpen. There is no tomorrow for the loser of this one.
There's a tomorrow. It's just going to be kind of sad. It's not going to be as much fun as tomorrow would be for the winner, that's for certain.
It will be spent unpacking.
Yes. And especially for Southeastern Louisiana, if it's them, that is a long drive home.
Right-hander down in the bullpen for Southeastern Louisiana is Mac Seroller. And they're going to stick with Grenier here.
Seroller is the closer, it appears. 6 saves, although no one really, a little bit more of a closer by committee. You've got 3 different guys with at least 2 saves on the year. But not ready yet to bring in Seroller to try to finish this off.
It's a good option to have, though.
Certainly. 6 saves on the year from him.
First pitch breaking ball, 1-0. Gallier reached in the 7th, but was put out at the plate on that fine defensive play by the pitcher, Jake Johnson, who recovered a loose throw on the warning track near the plate and just made a diving throw home to cut down Gallier. 2-0 the count.
That was the throw in from center to third. It got past the third baseman, rolled and hit the wall and came ricocheting all the way back out about halfway between the foul line and the backstop, where Johnson just happened to be. He chased it down. As he grabbed it, he fell down and backhanded it to the plate in order to get the runner. Fantastic play.
That seems like an eternity ago.
It does. Feels like a long time.
He's in the 7th. Flare to right, service on the move in hot pursuit. And that one is a foul ball. Service could not make the play in the corner.
You know, it's the geography of this Parker is a little bit odd because midway down each foul line, the stands rotate and come back in, and there's a point where the wall comes back in. The field actually, the seats face back in towards you, faces back in toward home plate. It's very rare to see that. Because of that, it makes those corners a little bit more precarious.
And difficult to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hot shot caught at third by Schwanner. Alertly, Gilbo retreats to second. Boy, they tell you when you enter the game, the ball's going to find you. And it found Schwanner, and he was up to the task. Nice reaction, glove side.
Doesn't even have his pants dirty yet. He's making a great play on that. And that's the luxury that Matt Reiser has, depth. Speaking of, I believe we'll now see the closer.
They're going to go to the bullpen here. So Roller will get the call for Southeastern Louisiana. 2-2 tie here in the top of the 9th inning. McNeese with a potential go-ahead run in scoring position. We'll take a quick timeout. This is a Southern Conference tournament on ESPN.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring. Thank you. We're never having kids.
Hello here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Another freshman put into a big spot here for Southeastern Louisiana. Max Roller coming into the ball game here in the 9th inning in a 2-2 tie, and McNeese with a potential go-ahead run at second base. So Roller, part of a great baseball family, is Uncle Ben McDonald, former #1 pick in the MLB draft, an LSU legend, had a great career with Baltimore and Milwaukee. And his nephew, so Roller, in a tight spot here in the Southland Tournament in an elimination game. Southeastern Louisiana, the #1 seed, they ran away with the regular season title. Wasn't even close in the end, but they are on the brink here in Sugar Land, Texas. So Roller getting loose. Andrew Guillot due up here. Max Roller, 18 appearances, 26 innings of work, 15 hits allowed, 9 runs, 8 earned, 5 walks, and 24 strikeouts, almost 1 per inning. He's holding opponents to a 160 batting average. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for, nope, it will be Toole coming up to bat here. Cameron Toole, the #9 hitter, stepping up to the plate. He drove in a run with a base hit back in the 7th. Scored the tying run on a Mason Klotz wild pitch. He's also walked and grounded out. Back-to-back freshmen out of the bullpen for Southeastern. Matt Reiser, confidence in his young kids. Toole takes a strike. McNeese has not led today. Southeastern scored in the first, got another in the third. Cowboys tied it in the seventh. That one drops out of the zone. Count even at a ball and a strike.
Double crossed the catcher Eads on that one. Eads was set up outside, looking for, I would assume, a breaking ball outside. Instead, that ball came in and finished well inside.
Louis Gilbo doubled. He's at second with 2 gone. Low again, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And here again, to me, it's the same situation as we had before with Klotz. You bring a guy in, this case he's a freshman. Granted, he's got 6 saves, but this is a completely different animal once you get to the conference tournament. He's never been here before. He's never seen this kind of pressure, knowing that this is an elimination game. It's an entirely different kind of pressure on these kids.
Popped up toward the on-deck circle and heading out of play. He did pitch in the Connie Mack World Series. I love that reaction, Patrick.
Just letting that one breathe for you, sir.
Right. I don't know what he did there.
Yeah.
Whether he got the job done or cracked under the pressure. Could be a stressful situation. 2-2. Here to Toole. Stays alive.
And there again, he's thrown almost exclusively breaking balls so far to Toole. He threw the fastball that was in the dirt. Everything else has been that curve. Looks like Toole's looking fastball, though. He's looking to just sit back and fight off the curve. I think he looks like he's sitting fastball right now.
Got him swinging. So Roller with a big, nasty breaking ball. And we will go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Southeastern looking to survive and advance. This is the Southland Tournament on ESPN.
Scott Van Pelt
has joined the conference.
Fellas, sorry I'm a little bit late. Hope I didn't keep you guys. Hello? Anybody there? Hello? Am I the first or what? Hello? Anybody there? They always cancel these things and no one tells me. Scott Van Pelt
has left the conference.
Rule 661. The best way to quiet the talk is to let your bat speak for you. Sunday Night Baseball, Rangers, Yankees, tonight at 8. Baseball rules on ESPN.
Last of the 9th inning. Here from Sugar Land, a 2-2 tie. Great work done here throughout the tournament by the local crew here in Sugar Land. Michael operating camera 3. Here come the Lions to bat against McNeese. Closer Colin Colbert, who has pitched an inning and 2/3 so far. He's hit a couple of batters and walked one, but is yet to surrender a hit. But the top of the order due up for Southeastern Louisiana.
Give the Lions fans credit. They may not be mighty in number, but they are certainly mighty in voice right now. It's just like we mentioned, that this Lion program carries an expectation of winning with it.
Jacob Seward takes a strike.
So they believe 2-2 in the bottom of the 9th. That's their time to go ahead and win the game.
The defending tournament champion, Southeastern Lions. Provenzano was shifted over, playing to pull, and in position to make that play as Seward is retired for out number 1. So Jacob Williams coming up for his first at-bat of the day. He was a defensive replacement for Carson Kreitz at second base back in the 8th. Kreitz is out of the game. This is Williams, who's hitting .299 with 7 extra base hits and 12 batted in. Senior out of Hobart. Swings at a changeup and pops it up. And they're going to call interference on this play. It was dropped by Colbert, but the batter is called for interference. He did not give way to Colin Colbert, who was trying to make the play. Got to make the effort to avoid the fielder here. Williams didn't even have his head up.
Yeah, I will say in his defense, it certainly wasn't an intentional interference. He wasn't even looking. He was just loping to first base, probably very mad that he just popped out. But Colbert had a legit shot at that ball, and he has to have the opportunity to go make the play. Very solid call by Aaron Freeman, you see there.
It's not just good enough to stay in your baseline there. You've got to make an effort to avoid the fielder. So that, I believe, will be a P1 in the official record. Here's Daniel Midyett with 2 outs and nobody on. Called strike down the heart of the plate.
The happiest guys right now, Mike, Scott Malone of Texas A&M Corpus Christi and Matt Deggs from Sam Houston.
No doubt.
They are begging this game to go extra innings right now. They await.
We'll give that out to the catcher in that last play. Guess he was the closest one to it. 0-2 to Midyett. Yeah, Malone and Deggs. Hey, these guys can go all day for all they care.
They play tonight, by the way, at 7 o'clock, Corpus Christi and Sam Houston. Scheduled for 7 o'clock. Loser of that game will face the winner of this game at noon tomorrow in another elimination game. Both of these teams facing the prospect of winning 5 games through Saturday. It's happened before, happened 2 years ago at this park. Central Arkansas did the same thing, lost the first game, came back through the losers bracket and won it.
Ball and 2 strikes here to Midyett.
You have to have great starting pitching. You have to have a lot of relievers you can rely on to chew up innings. And in the end, your offense has to come through. It's an offensive game once you get to Saturday if you've come out of the losers bracket.
Trying to get him to chase. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Great season by Colbert. Stuart Holmes of Nichols, Southland's relief pitcher of the year, but Colbert was not far behind, that's for sure. Chopper to the dugout.
Finally came back inside. Colbert's been away on both the 0-2 and the 1-2 pitches, trying to get Midyett to go outside and chase. Finally came back in. Midyett fouling that one off. Certainly don't want to play around too much with Midyett.
Lazy fly ball to left. Gilbo underneath it, and we are headed to extra innings. Southeastern Louisiana and McNeese will give you bonus baseball when we come back to Sugar Land. This is a Southland Conference Tournament on ESPN.
McNeese State and Southland Conference baseball fans, your vote is needed. Help support McNeese outfielder Andrew Guillat by logging on to www.seniorclassaward.com and voting for the senior as the nation's top student athlete. Voting is open through June 8th, and you can vote up to 3 times per day. So act today and vote for McNeese's Andrew Guillat as this year's Senior Class Award recipient.
I'm Andrew Guillat, and I approve this message.
Fun game so far here from Sugar Land, Texas. An elimination game between McNeese and Southeastern Louisiana, tied at 2 heading into the 10th. Mike Wagenheim alongside the voice of the Northwestern State University Demons, Patrick Netherton. We knew anything could happen in this tournament, and here we are, the number 1 seed, being taken into extra innings in an elimination game.
And what we knew is that we would go to extra innings. When you and I get together, somehow that we knew that was going to happen. It would just be our luck this would happen. Free baseball.
Andrew Guillotte at the plate, top of the order for the Cowboys, and Guillotte takes a strike from Max Roller. Guillotte 1 for 3 on the day with an early single. So Roller struck out Cameron Toole to end the 9th as the Cowboys stranded the potential go-ahead run on second.
And here's the real issue. Kober already in as the closer, working long innings. Now you've got Soroller, the closer for Southeastern. How many innings does he work if this game continues on?
That was like Demon head coach Lane Burroughs said earlier, you do what you need to do. There's no tomorrow if you don't get through today. Breaking ball. Guillotte hits in the air to center. Jacob Seward makes a play, and there's one gone. Here's the Southlands Freshman of the Year, Joe Provenzano. Got an infield hit back in the 8th. 1 for 4 on the day. Nice job by Soroller's predecessor, Cade Grenier. Inning in 2/3, a shutout ball. Gave up a couple of hits. Two 2-0 to Provenzano.
You know, the interesting thing is both of these teams seem to have a very deep bullpen, especially McNeese. McNeese has a lot of guys who have double-digit appearances this year.
And Kober can go all day. You know, he's not a guy that throws 96 and is going to run out of gas.
They have 8 guys who have double-digit appearances out of the bullpen. So plenty of options for Justin Hill available.
Got the 3-0 across.
Meanwhile, you contrast that with Southeastern. They've only got 6 guys who have double-digit appearances out of the pen. We've already seen one who didn't. That was Mason Klotz, who came in with just his 8th appearance.
Provenzano tried to sell it. Aaron Freeman calls it a strike. Full count. Picked up by Carr. He'll shovel to Soroller for the 3-1 putout, and there are 2 gone. Kevin Carr making the play. 2 away here. Thus far today, only 1 error between these 2 sides. Connor Lloyd at the plate. Just missed. The Lions with a 4, 5, 6 hitters due up in the bottom half of this inning.
Kober, the closer for McNeese, sitting at 31 pitches now, so not necessarily stretched out too bad at this point. Of course, you're now, again, you have to do what you can to win this game, but you're also running into, if you're thinking ahead at all, you're getting close to where you may be burning him for the rest of the week, the rest of the weekend.
Central Arkansas, HBU, coming up at 4 o'clock Central Time, supposedly.
Right now, we're still okay for 4 o'clock.
30-minute break in between games today. This one driven deep to left, but it'll settle in, and Byers makes a play. Lloyd gave it a ride, but it's a 1-2-3 top of the 10th. Southeastern with another chance to win it. Coming up from Sugar Land, this is a Southland Conference Tournament on ESPN.
That's the great thing about wearing pinstripes, right? It makes you look slimmer.
That's why I love this uniform. Even on a bad day, I look great.
Fellas?
New suit?
Yeah, my stylist hooked it up. Horizontal stripes.
No, it looks great. Seriously.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
I have this condition. You know that feeling of deja vu? That's how I feel all the time.
You had some.
You want to insert my consciousness into this guy's dead brain?
We call it stitching.
There are monsters everywhere, and we can stop them.
Oh, no.
Policy of truth.
Let's go get him.
Stitchers premieres Tuesday, June 2nd, 9/8 Central. ABC Family.
Now the Lions want to celebrate here. Looking for a reason to do so. 2-2 tie heading into the bottom half of the 10th inning. McNeese trying to force an 11th frame here. This is a Southern Conference tournament from Sugar Land, Texas, an elimination game between the Lions and the Pokes. Colin Coburn stays on the hill for McNeese. The middle third of the order coming up to bat for Southeastern, starting with Kevin Carr, who has 3 hits in 4 at-bats today. Diving stop at first by Connor Crane. He'll make the play.
Beautiful play by Crane. Had to play back towards, he was playing no doubles, a little bit shaded towards the line, and came back to field his position beautifully on that hard hit ball. And then the wherewithal to get up and get over the bag in time as well. Fantastic work at first base by Crane. And most importantly, the first out of the inning. The leadoff runner aboard is the worst thing you can possibly do against Southeastern Louisiana. Well, against anyone, and especially in extra innings in the bottom half of a frame.
This will bring up Taylor Schwanner, who entered the game a couple of innings ago. Actually, I beg your pardon, this is going to be Kyle Sedetol. But that looks like number 10. However, Taylor Schwanner took over at third base.
Now, Sedetol.
Unless the numbers were off. Yeah, Sedetol. Sedetol went out to left field.
There you go.
We didn't get that change a couple of innings ago. Sedetol went to left after pinch running in the 8th. So he actually made that catch a moment ago to end the top of the inning. 2-1 the count. We'll try to get our defensive alignment straight. Schwanner is a third baseman. Sedetol the left fielder.
So Byers is the one that's out of the lineup then.
Correct.
Schwanner's got to be in Byers' spot in the 9 hole. Sedetol batting 5th.
Hot shot to third off the body of Gallier. Recovers and gunned him down.
What an arm. My goodness, that was an absolute laser beam. Again, playing no doubles down the line. Backhand knocks it down and an absolute strike to get Sedetol. Impressive.
Looked like that may have come up and got him in the face. Yeah, it did. He holding its chin there, as you saw. Wow.
Well,
I'll tell you,
wherever it got him, that was impressive.
There have been 1 or 2 miscues in this game so far. Outside of that, it has been a well-played, entertaining contest as Kenan Menard swings through the initial offering. Menard, with a couple of sack bunts today, is officially 0 for 2. Behind Kober here at 0-2.
Well, Kober's also getting some fantastic defense behind him. Already both corners, Crane and Gallier, making huge plays in this inning. Like you said, Kober can go for a while. His motion is erratic and a little bit herky-jerky and sort of odd, but he doesn't produce. It doesn't appear to produce a lot of stress when he throws the ball. The actual throwing motion with the arm seems pretty easy for him. It's all the rest of the window dressing that seems to be frenetic.
He's had 2 outings of 4 more innings this year. That one's finally going to get through. Crane tried but couldn't get to it, and Kenan Menard has himself a 2-out single.
And there again, you're playing the lines a little bit, trying to shade that way. Don't want to give up a runner in scoring position. And I'll say this for the Lions, they've had a very good approach going the other way so far against Cober.
Julian Service looking for his first hit. Three-time Major League draft pick. Ball one. Service went as high as the 21st round of the MLB draft. That was back in 2012, the pick of the Orioles. Count even at the ball and a strike. The winner of this game plays again tomorrow morning. They will get the loser of tonight's matchup between Texas A&M Corpus Christi and Sam Houston State.
Scheduled for a noon start. I would be surprised if that happens. We haven't had a noon start yet in the first 2 days of the tournament.
Menard scampering back to first. 2 balls and a strike to Service. Menard with an opposite field 2-out single. He represents a potential winning run here. Cober has already worked 3 1/3. Foul ball off the bat of Service.
And it would appear, although there is some activity now in the bullpen for McNeese, it would appear that Justin Hill may be committing to Cober to perhaps finish this one off. At least perhaps another inning anyway.
Wow. Called third strike. That is a perfect pitch. We will go to the 11th. Still tied at 2 from Sugar Land. This is a Southland Conference tournament on ESPN.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Scott.
Just finished up the show. Guess I'm gonna head on out of here.
Cool.
Go home watching some television or something.
All right. Enjoy.
Chase Freedom. The card is for the essentials. The cash back is for the fun. Chase, so you can.
Season on the line here for the McNeese State Cowboys and the Southeastern Louisiana Lions. We head to the 11th inning here from Constellation Field in Sugar Land, Texas, a Southland Conference tournament, day number 2. Elimination time. Loser this one goes home. 2-2 ball game. Max Soroller, Southeastern reliever, stays out there. Soroller has worked an inning and a third of perfect baseball so far. Late in this ball game, Southeastern Louisiana head coach Matt Reiser has put the onus on a lot of freshmen, and so far so good.
They clearly don't know any better. Clearly don't know that the situation is as dire as it is. Win or go home.
Ground ball to first off the bat of Billy Summers, knocked down by Kevin Carr. Flips to Soroller covering for the first out, and Summers 0 for 5.
Soroller's gotten a nice workout. 2 of the last 3 have been him covering first base.
One away here for Connor Crane. 0 for 4, couple of strikeouts and a pair of flyouts. Drop curve for ball 1. Central Arkansas and HBU coming up next here. Got that one in for a strike. Corpus Christi and Sam Houston will round out the day. Those are the games in the winners bracket. Two-one.
Beautiful. Beautifully done.
That's textbook.
That is perfect. Completely caught Schwanner off guard at third base. Had no idea that was coming.
Clinical bunt single for Connor Crane.
If you're going to bunt for a hit, that's the way you do it. You don't reveal your intentions till the last possible second. You bunted at the third baseman, Schwanner, who's playing back. He's playing in regular position, not anticipating bunt. And you have just enough speed, as Connor Crane does, to get to the to beat that throw out. Really not even an opportunity for a throw. He laid that one down so perfectly.
Cantu at the plate. And a couple of early hits, including a double. He's 2 for 4 on the day. Runner goes. And the ground ball to right will send Crane from corner to corner. So McNeese has something cooking here in the 11th.
So you follow up a perfect surprise bunt for a hit with a perfect hit and run. That was hit and run all the way. Runner was going, a hanging breaking ball that Cantu is able to just flip right past between first and second. And the reason as a batter you go in that spot is because when the runner goes, the second baseman's breaking for second. Both the shortstop and the second baseman are both going to sort of move to the bag at second, leaves a big hole between first and second, and that was absolutely done to perfection by Cantu.
So now Louis Gilbo comes up in a monster spot here. Gilbo is 2 for 4. He doubled his last time up, singled and scored back in the 7th.
Best part of this for McNeese is the fact that with just one out, Sack Fly also gets a run home. And he's hit a couple very hard into right center field.
The old step to third, looked at first, nobody going anywhere. Once in my lifetime.
I've never seen it work before.
Saw it work in the minor leagues, and the runner that got thrown out got cut later in the week.
And rightfully so.
They're already charging in from the corners. Runner breaks for second. And the throw faked by Eads.
Yeah, you can't make that throw. The only thing you can do with that is throw and have the pitcher cut it off. You cannot risk the potential double steal to give the go-ahead run in the top of the 11th. But it also brings your infield in.
So Cantu takes second. 2 men in scoring position with only 1 out. They're going to intentionally walk him. Yep, they sure will. With first base open. And now Matt Reiser is coming out, and he wants to talk it over before they do anything.
This is an interesting scenario. Ceroller's thrown 27 pitches at this point. If you're going to intentionally walk Gilbo, counts now 1-0, it means you have to throw 3 more pitches. Typically, most coaches would leave the guy that's already on the mound to throw the intentional walk and then bring in the reliever to come in and try to throw strikes. But if you're potentially saving Ceroller for later, do you then not throw 3 intentional balls here with him giving his arm an issue, or do you then go ahead and let him throw it, not bring in the reliever?
You always have an option, although it would be unorthodox. Kyle Senetal's playing left field. If you needed somebody just to lob 3 pitches up there. Yep.
Interesting conversation there after the catcher. Eads had already stood up and put the 4 fingers out to signal the intentional walk.
They're going to pitch to Gilbo after all. 1-0 the count. Crane at third, Cantu on second. The infield drawn in. That's a nice little pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And obviously the key for Gilbo is hit something hard. anywhere hard.
Louis Gilbo, Cowboy left fielder.
And also, runners at second and third, Cantu and Crane, need to be heads up. Even if it's hit hard, you're not necessarily breaking for the next base. You've got to be aware of what's going on.
Fouled off, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Sac fly is certainly something that Gilbo has to think about. But put it on the ground. If you put it on the ground, you need to hit it very hard. Make it a tough play for one of these drawn-in infielders.
Pokes it towards short. Play at the plate, and he's out. Kennan Menard throws a strike to Chris Eads, and Connor Crane gone at the plate.
And again, you didn't need to break there. I know it's a perfect throw, a perfect situation, but that's your shortstop guy who typically has your best, most accurate arm. I don't know that running is the right play there. I mean, Crane was dead to rights. Great job by Eads, and also like this at the end of the play, Crane got up and gave Eads a little pat on the backside, telling him good job. The other issue is the runner at second, Cantu, does end up at third, so a potential wild pitch could change things a little bit.
Here is Matt Gallier, 1 for 4 so far today. Chopper to third. Should do it. McNeese is held off the board. They call off the intentional walk and get out of the inning. We will go to the bottom of the 11th, still tied at 2. Here, Southern Conference Championship Tournament on ESPN.
We're all experienced broadcasters, but sometimes we need a few pointers.
Imagine your spine is attached to the chair. You're holding a towel under your armpits, eyes on the teleprompter. Don't look up to see the highlights, look through the highlights.
Last of the 11th inning. McNeese State and Southeastern Louisiana. What a ball game this has been. And you see the numbers about as evenly matched a contest as you could have. An elimination game here from Sugar Land, the Southland Tournament. Colin Culver, the McNeese closer, stays in, and Chris Eads will lead things off here for the Lions. Eads is 1 for 3. Culver has worked 3 2/3 innings so far. He's only given up 1 hit. He's gotten a lot of help from his defense as well. And he hit Eads for the second time. Eads leaned into the one last time around, but that one really had no chance of getting away from.
And there again, Mike, remember, there is a new rule in college baseball this year. You have to try to get away from a pitch. And I have seen, and I know you've probably seen the same thing, multiple times umpires calling back batters to the plate because they didn't attempt to get away from the pitch. Now there again, Eads leaned into the first one with the lower body. This time he hangs out and just lets it hit him, made no attempt to get out of the way of the pitch.
A pinch runner. This will be Drew Evans at first base.
My only issue, the reason I'm saying this, Mike, is that I just would like to see this be officiated a little bit more consistently. It's been very back and forth. Sometimes you get an umpire who's calling guys back left and right. Sometimes you're getting umpires who are letting everyone go to first. My opinion is I don't like the new rule. If a pitcher makes a bad enough pitch that it hits you and you don't have to move, you should get first base. Don't bail the pitcher out because you didn't try to get out of the way.
This will be Brooks Morse pinch hitting here for Taylor Schwanner in the 9 spot. Morse, a .190 hitter. 9 RBIs. So Evans, the pinch runner. Morse, the pinch hitter. Morse squares to bunt. Missed it. Strike 1. Yeah, I don't know if there was much there, honestly, that Eads could do to avoid, even if he moved toward the plate or away from it. But I understand what you're saying.
My thing is, I just want it called consistently. Let's get consistency in that rule, because sometimes you see umpires who call everyone back. Sometimes you see umpires who let everyone go.
Outside evens up the count. Morris with 2 sack bunts on the year.
Schwanner only has 16 at-bats this year and has not laid down a sack bunt, so that's why Matt Reiser pulls him out in this case to put Morse in.
Morse is sophomore. Bunts it foul.
Well, now what do? We've already seen Southeastern Louisiana lay a bunt down with 2 strikes. You risk, obviously, the foul out in this scenario. If you allow the bunt to stay on.
They just pay me to run my mouth. I don't make those decisions. Don't want to. Called 3rd strike.
Now, let me tell you, that was a painted outside corner fastball tailing back into the right-hander. It was that late break that got him right on the outside corner. So Morse, a wasted at-bat for a pinch hitter.
Up steps Southland's Player of the Year, Jacob Seward. Singled back in the 5th. Time is called. Here comes pitching coach Corey Barton. This will be a strategic discussion here amongst the Cowboys.
And again, 2 arms loosening in the bullpen for McNeese, have been for the last 2 innings. But it does appear that Justin Hill and his staff have decided to go ahead and make this all about Colin Kober. You see the right-hander Corey Lapese up on the rubber, loosening up. Also, it appears Ethan Strimmel, who has been a starter for most of the year for Southeastern, he might just be tossing on the side out there as well. But this is going to be Kober's game unless this game gets into really, really extra innings. I think Kober finishes this off for McNeese, win or lose.
Kober versus Seward. Runner breaks for second. The pitch swung on. Popped up. Does Gallier have a chance? He does. He makes a play, and racing back to first is Evans.
Oh, what a fantastic play. We've seen Gallier's rocket arm. That time, full sprint, locating the dugout in the process, then realizing he's got enough room, has to sort of circle back and make the grab. What a great play by the third baseman, Gallier. We have seen some tremendous defense from both of these teams today.
So 2 outs now. Jacob Williams steps in. Williams called for interference on a pop-up in the 9th in his first at-bat. So they traded the offense of Carson Kreitz for the defense of Williams back in the 8th inning. Did he foul that one? He did.
Fouled it off. And again, just much like McNeese did in the last inning with Connor Crane, trying to see if they can surprise the Cowboys. The Lions trying to surprise the Cowboys, dropping down a little bunt for a single. But credit McNeese in this half inning. Most of the time when the leadoff man is aboard for Southeastern, really bad things start happening. And the Cowboys have managed to keep him at first base.
Runner breaks, and this one getting away from the catcher. Turning and holding at second base, the pinch runner, Drew Evans.
My guess is that's a stolen base because he was going on the pitch. But the interesting aspect of that is because he was sliding, he was completely unaware that the ball had popped up. He, to his credit, got up very quickly and was looking. But also a credit to Cameron Toole, the catcher, getting back there and making sure he was not going to advance to third.
A 1-2 count to Williams.
It's the first stolen base of the year for him, by the way.
Two balls and two strikes.
Now you also have gaps if you're Southeastern Louisiana, clearly very deep. But you have to bring in a new catcher as well as a new third baseman.
Caught by Gallier at third once again. Give that man a gold glove. We will head to the 12th. Still tied at 2. Matt Gallier saves the day here from McNeese State. This is the Southland Conference Tournament on ES.
It's hard to find an expert more dedicated than John Clayton. He's the consummate pro.
We'll see how the 4-3 and the cover 3 work together.
John Clayton with the latest.
Thanks, Dan. Take care.
Whenever we need a brilliant insight, he's available at the drop of a hat.
Hey, Mom! I'm done with my segment!
We welcome you back to Constellation Field here in Sugar Land, Texas. Defensive substitutions for the Southeastern Louisiana Lions. Nico Cuccia is now in catching, new shortstop and third baseman, as the shortstop Kennan Menard has moved to third to play there. A new shortstop into the ball game for the Lions. Brooks Morris stays in to play short. A fantastic defensive effort at third base for McNeese State's Matt Gallier. Saves a run from scoring and keeps this one alive heading into the 12th inning. Mike Wagenheim had to depart the premises. Actually, his Nicholls State Colonel team was waiting on him. They were nice enough to wait at the hotel for him to call this game. And, of course, when things got into extra innings, he had to leave. So I will take you through the rest of things here. First pitch to Cameron Toole is in for strike one. A lot of defensive substitutions as Matt Reiser, the head coach of the Lions, trying to manufacture that run. He has left Max Soroller in, though, the closer. He's thrown a couple of strikes to Cameron Toole. Toole is 1 for 3 today. So we're here in the top of the 12th inning. That breaking ball stays high. Cowboys and Lions, both nearly identical line scores. 2 runs, 11 hits for both. 1 error by Southeastern. Soroller was ready to go. Time was called by Toole. This game now will push the start of the next game back, the next game on the schedule. Central Arkansas and Houston Baptist, and a beautiful strikeout there by Soroller to get the inning starting. McNeese had a chance in the last inning. You see Soroller with that beautiful curveball getting the swing and miss. Andrew Giat will step in back at the top of the order for the Cowboys. Giat, the center fielder. Senior from Moss Bluff, just outside of Lake Charles. He'll line that one right at the first baseman, Kevin Carr. So 2 up and 2 down for Soroller. Very quickly here in the top of the 12th. And that brings up the freshman of the year in the Southland Conference, second baseman Joe Provenzano. Provenzano is 1 for 5 today. His lone hit back in the 8th inning. Fouls that one out of play. Winner of this game plays tomorrow at noon, taking on the loser of Texas A&M Corpus Christi and Sam Houston. That is the final game of today's action. Central Arkansas and Houston Baptist next. Scheduled for 4. It'll be a little after that at this point. This one hit in the air to center. Ranging over Jacob Seward, and he grabs that. 3 up and 3 down go the Cowboys in the top of the 12th. We head to the bottom half of the frame. Southeastern once again looking to win this ball game. 2-2 your score. You're watching Southland Conference Tournament Baseball.
We're a global network, so we rely pretty heavily on satellite technology.
Overtime games in the NBA. I mean, that's awesome.
Todd, I think we lost our feed.
Roger that, Stan. Houston, we have video system failure.
That's weird, because everything's good on our end.
We have no video here.
Stand by.
We got another one down, sir.
It's pretty high-tech stuff, but we're a high-tech company.
Orbit, give me a status on Sat 12, please. That's not good at all.
Colin Kober, the closer for McNeese, finally giving way. Corey Lapese will step in. Lapese, you see there, 6'4", 210 out of Houma, Louisiana. Actually outside of Thibodaux, home of the Nicholls State Colonels, who were the first team eliminated here in the Southland Conference Tournament earlier this morning. Corey Lapese, no record on the year, 2.78 ERA, 25th appearance, 24th in relief. He has 4 saves. That's second most on the team behind Kober. 35 2/3 innings, 19 hits, 11 earned runs, 42 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting just 160 off the right-hander Lapese, but a fantastic outing in relief by Colin Kober. Coming in, ends up throwing 4 2/3 innings. 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Does very strong work out of the bullpen. Cowboys coming back to tie things up with a 2-run 7th inning after trailing 2-0 after 3. For the Lions, 3, 4, 5 in the order up here. Daniel Midyet, the designated hitter, will lead things off. Midyet's 1 for 4 today. That one gets past the catcher all the way to the backstop for ball 1. Lions had a golden opportunity in the 11th. Leadoff hit by pitch. Pinch runner, stolen base, but then a strikeout on a sac bunt attempt. A looking strikeout at that. Followed by a pop out to third and a line out to third. Both of those fantastic plays by Gallier at third base. 1-0 misses outside as well, 2-0. Somewhere in the greater Sugar Land, Houston metro area, there, Scott Malone and Matt Deggs are clapping in their hotel rooms watching this one go all the way to the 12th inning. And Lapese very close to walking the leadoff man, and he does. 4 straight pitches, all high. And Midyet is aboard. This is when Southeastern Louisiana starts to get the running game going. Midyet, 7 for 11 in stolen bases. And Kevin Carr will step in. Carr is 3 for 5. He doubled in the first, had an RBI single in the third, singled in the fifth. Last 2 times up against Cober, he has gone down, flown out to right and grounded out to first. Carr comes in, your cleanup hitter, the senior from Chandler, Arizona. On the season, Carr batting .329. First pitch just high. There are 5 guys in the lineup for Southeastern Louisiana who all have at least 31 runs driven in. And Carson Kreitz, the second baseman who was lifted earlier in the game, has 29. First strike thrown by Corey Lapese. Comes in the 6th pitch, and it was high and in as well. So a gift of a strike from Aaron Freeman to Corey Lapese. See if that settles in the right-hander. Another one high. Everything has come out of his hand high and higher. More activity in the McNeese bullpen. The Lions try to win this one in the bottom half of the 12th inning. First extra inning game we've had in the Southland Conference tournament this year. Another one high. 3 balls and 1 strike. Matt Reiser, head coach for the Lions, working through the signs down in the third base coach's box. And here comes Justin Hill, and Hill's going to make the move to the bullpen right in the middle of the at-bat. So with a 3-1 count, Justin Hill is going to lift Corey Lapese, who does not record an out and gives up a walk. So Hill comes out and has a long discussion with his right-hander Lapese. Didn't like what he saw through 4 straight balls to start with. Then finally recorded a strike on the second pitch that he threw to Kevin Carr. And now he is being lifted. Also, the training staff for the Cowboys on their way out to check on Cameron Toole. Toole looks like he needs a little bit of water. He's on his knee behind the pitcher's mound. Justin Hill called the entire infield in, and Toole on a knee behind the new pitcher, Ethan Strimmel, who has come into the ball game. I'm not entirely certain what might be up with Cameron Toole. Toole is just down on one knee. Of course, Toole being the catcher, no warm-up pitches thus far for Strimmel. Justin Hill is going to call in the entire umpiring crew because he is going to bring in the bullpen catcher to catch here. So we'll take a quick break, get everything sorted out as actually Toole is going to call off the bullpen catcher for McNeese. That's Garrett LaRosa. Toole will come in and be ready to receive warm-up pitches from Ethan Strimmel. Strimmel is 5-4 with a 4.54 ERA. 16th appearance, just his 3rd relief appearance of the year. 71 1/3 innings, 85 hits, 36 earned runs, 53 strikeouts. Opponents batting .307 off the junior from Lake Jackson, Texas. So Strimmel comes in, will be facing a 3-ball, 1-strike count. An odd spot to put someone in. But Justin Hill, after a 4-pitch walk to start things off to Daniel Midyet, decides to go ahead and make the call to the bullpen on a 3-1 count on Kevin Carr. Runner at first base, bottom of the 12th inning in a 2-2 ball game. So Strimmel will not only inherit a runner at first, he'll also inherit a 3-1 count. Take a look at what's going on in the Southland Conference tournament. On the side with the 2-seed Northwestern State, Central Arkansas, Houston Baptist, both victorious in the first game. Northwestern State eliminated Nichols this morning, 4-3. That means Northwestern State will take on the winner of Central Arkansas and Houston Baptist tomorrow at 9. On the other side, the 1-seed Southeastern Louisiana and the 4-seed McNeese both falling. They're playing now in the 12th. A&M Corpus Christi, Sam Houston play tonight at 7 p.m. So Ethan Strimmel ready to go. Right now, graphic tells you it's at 4 p.m. Central Time, but with at least 30 minutes between games. Even if this game ends right now, we're not getting off at 4 o'clock for the 4 o'clock game, Central Arkansas and Houston Baptist. So Carr steps in, 3-1 pitch right in there for strike 2. So tough for Ethan Strimmel to step into a 3-1 count. The runner at first base is Daniel Midyet. A 4-pitch walk issued to him. Payoff pitch, fouled out of play. Lions got the lead in the bottom half of the first inning, scoring a run after a one-out triple and then a double behind it. Then in the third, getting a run, a one-out single, and then 2 more singles behind that, then have been blanked since then. Meanwhile, the Cowboys scoring 2 in the 7th. The Lions trying to win it in the bottom half of the frame. Runner goes, hit and run, executed absolutely perfectly. Midyet will go first to third. And the winning run is 90 feet away for the Southland Conference regular season champion Southeastern Louisiana Lions. Could not put that one down any better. Hit and run, second baseman vacates the area. That ball hit the other way into right field. Perfectly executed. Midyet on his horse all the way to third. Carr holds up at first, and now runners at the corners with nobody out. Lions looking to try to finish this one off. Kyle Setitall will step in. The only guy that matters right now is Daniel Midyet at third base. Infield in for the Cowboys. Swing and a miss. Beautiful pitch down low for Strimmel. So Strimmel gives up a base hit on the hit and run. And again, that's what the Lions do. They love to play small ball. They love to sacrifice hit and run. Very good executing team in those scenarios. That one fouled back out of play. Midyet with very good speed at third base, so anything hit to the outfield, you've got to imagine Midyet's getting sent. Kyle Setitall, who has just 16 at-bats all year, grounded out his last time up. Came in as a pinch runner and stayed in to play left. 0-2, and that will win the ball game for the Southeastern Louisiana Lions. Plenty deep. Throw on the way home. Great throw. Safe. And Southeastern Louisiana survives and advances. The 1-seed Lions get the sac fly from Kyle Setitall. His 4th RBI of the year. Probable starting pitcher tomorrow. And the reason he's starting tomorrow is because he gets the sac fly RBI to win it 3-2 in 12 innings for the Southeastern Louisiana Lions. Big celebration out in center field as the 1-seed regular season champion wins its 42nd game of the year. And regardless of whether Southeastern Louisiana wins the conference tournament, I do believe they will likely end up in the NCAAs no matter what happens. A fantastic finish here in the bottom of the 12th. Kyle Setitall with a great hook slide from Daniel Midyet at third. Thanks to Mike Wagenheim, I'm Patrick Netherton saying so long from Constellation Field, Sugar Land, Texas. The final score in 12, Southeastern Louisiana 3, McNeese, stay tuned to watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks. Go to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.
He's Alex Rodriguez, not Willie Mays.
Does he have
Is the circus over?
Rule 661. The best way to quiet the talk is to let your bat speak for you. Sunday Night Baseball, Rangers, Yankees tonight at 8. Baseball rules on ESPN.